might think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. I know it's uncharacteristic for me to be, out here. Every now and again, I'll do one of these. On a Saturday, man. I just had some things on my mind, and I just wanted to chop it up with y'all, man. I wanted to come out here and just voice my opinion, man. I put the link in the chat. If anybody, want to come up here and chop it up, if you got some thought-provoking things, if you are a boxing intellectual, be my guest. But I wanted to talk to y'all for a little while, man, and just do a semi state of boxing, but really just clarify a couple things. It's boxing is in a fickle spot, man. It's a lot of like weird energy, and I'm always surprised with the fans' outlook and all that. I always say the pulse of boxing. Why? Because I consume content. I got my people that I rock with as far as my favorite content creators. Just like you got your favorite boxers, just like you got your favorite football players or your basketball player or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We got favorites. We got people we rock with. We know who tend to stay out there and act like they ops and all that. But like when we get down to some real boxing talk, right? When we get down to the nitty gritty, man, and we get down to what we all should be, whether you hardcore or casual, you should really have a vested interest in the health of the sport. Not just whether or not your guy is on top and shining, because for me, a lot of my boxers are out of the mix right now, but that didn't stop me from doing content. Tank being inactive, Jamel, nobody won't go, nobody won't come near him with a 10-foot pole. We got Earl coming back. We're kind of excited about that. I hope Earl is at least 70%. He looking tremendous. He's the machine in my box to watch. The reason why, because them car accidents and everything he been through, he gonna still keep coming, man. And he got that spirit that I think should be embodied by a lot of the boxers, but it's not. We are picking and choosing. We doing a lot of picking and choosing, man. Fans have become bodyguards. People got their favorites. Have your favorites. Come up with, rebuttals for your favorites. Come up with key points for your favorites. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to defend your favorites, right? But I'm seeing that a lot of people in that Earl Spence fashion, because that's who I attribute to keep the same energy. Earl was one of the ones that really put that saying up, like, keep that same energy. Earl was one of the first ones, and I don't think it's a few boxers, young boxers, that we got to look at, but like these narratives that's out here, the things that the extent to which people are willing to go, the things that people are willing to say to get someone get in the way of fights, protect I'm like, man, I see people online that's been caping for certain fighters for years now. It's like, at least let your narratives evolve into something. You know, we still stuck on some simple narratives out here. You know, fans, surprisingly, it's like fans, depending on who they're talking about and which boxer, they figure out a reason why a boxer shouldn't fight all these guys. We trying to figure out why they should. Maybe want to go into the motivation or why maybe, you know, maybe we might have an argument to where, hey, I think this guy, he should fight this guy as opposed to this guy. Yeah, you can do that, but like have some logic, you know, so have some sound reasoning. Put my light on. Have some logic and some sound reason as to why or why not you want your fighter to move that way. Because really, I don't really think people be thinking, man, before they open up their mouth when they come out here and they say certain things. You know, I think that when you start hearing yourself out loud and you start hearing the certain things, or if a casual was listening to you on the outside, would they be saying that you trying to help the sport, or are you hurting the sport, or are you just trying to get your guy the most money? Like, you getting some of that money. I've never understood that. We not getting none of that money. I know there's content created to where when their people are up, like all of the Deontay Wilder people, when they up, yeah, they doing, you know, videos and all that. When Spence is back, people doing videos and giving. When Tank is back, pretty much all the haters get paid. They love to hate on this man, but they don't give him the respect, because when he's out and about, when he's outside, for real, when he's not caught up in litigation or got nothing, you know, going on, they get paid. The haters get paid, but they don't respect the man to the capacity of which that, you know, he put a lot of food on the table, regardless whether he's selling out, doing whatever. But like, standards be different, you know, when it comes to him. But like, I noticed that when certain people was in, you know, powerful positions, like when Earl was in the position, when Jamel was in the position, when Tank was in the position, you know, even though I still think Tank is still in position, because he just inactive right now. He got whatever, you got to clear that stuff up, whatever, and get back to it. That's why I don't focus really on it. I'm waiting, you know, for what's going to happen. But when they were in certain positions, they were held at a regard, at a standard, or there were expectations for these guys that were now, I guess it's kind of been a makeshift power shift in the sport. And these guys are not being held to the same accountability. Like, it's not, people are not keeping the same energy when it comes down to them. It's like the online presence is superseding what people can do in the box office, which is the business of boxing. And people tell you don't know shit about boxing, you know, or you don't know the boxing business and all that. But it's like, okay, well, if you knew the boxing business, you would be campaigning for your mans to get like 5 times the pay. Look, they get hit in the head for a living. We want them to get as much as they can, but that can't be an excuse, or you can't let them off the hook. Just say, hey, listen, man, I get it. He get more money than whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just happy for him, and just leave it at that. But you can't be out here making the statements and claiming that they in the mess hall with their chests out and they don't want to fight nobody. You know, if you look at some of these guys, the people that they're actually putting up there to the forefront, not this love of all things foreign, right? Not just the love of all things foreign, because over here in America, we got this awkward love for all things foreign, where we put a premium on something because it's foreign. You see it in fashion, you see it in cars, you see it in anything that's foreign. We put a higher premium on it. And that's what we're doing. Like, people were catering to Turkey. Now they're catering to, you know, Zuffa. Like, Zuffa is kind of foreign to what we know. Yes, it's established over here and it's, you know, it's got its thing, but you can't even let it go through the process. People are just on their knees. Tonsil jewelry already put in. Throat coat already sprayed. Reach around extenders on deck. Knee pads extra tight. Extra cushion. With the Kevlar caps on them. And I'm like, why do y'all do that? You know, because you hate, not it's a lot of people I noticed that a lot of people, especially online, it's like, it's a lot of self-hate that's perpetuated out here. But it's not just a self-hate. It's like people shit on Ford. They say, oh, that's fix or repair daily. But if you drive a Ford, you know how reliable. One of my favorite vehicles at one point in time was my Ford Explorer when I had it. I didn't know it was going to be that, but when I drove that was my favorite vehicle that I've had. Excellent turning radius, but like, a lot of us have developed, it's almost like a hate for things that are organic to America. Like, I talk about fighters that look like me, that come from the same demographic like me and all that, and I am critical of them because I'm talking about the sport, right? But I'll never get out here and be like, I'm picking this guy just because he looks like me. It's like, that's some of the dumb, and I've seen somebody that look like me justifying why somebody on another channel, on another panel, always picks the Puerto Rican guy. And he's like, man, we can't do that when we out here picking people just because they look like us. And I'm like, that's the dumbest shit in the world. That's the dumbest shit in the world. Like, especially in boxing, where it don't matter how you look. It don't really matter where you from. It matters if you studied your opponent, if you were prepared for the assignment, if you didn't crack, crumble, if you weren't resilient, if your skills wasn't in order when you got in that ring. You could be blue, green, purple. You get in that ring, you know, judgment shall be rendered by these. And if it go to the decision, yeah, it's gonna go to the judges. But like, picking based on the fact that, oh yeah, we wear the same flag. Certain cultures can get away with that. You notice that? Certain cultures can get away with that. You come out there with a Puerto Rican flag, you can be all things Puerto Rican. Nobody ever going to check you, even though the logic behind why you're making your pick, you can't explain it. It's just a blind loyalty. Like in boxing, it's like, yeah, you want people that look like you to succeed and get all the money they can, but like, you cannot condone the BS that they're doing. So I want to nip that in the bud when you hear somebody, especially a bold content creator, who's going to come out there and put everybody on the scales and they're going to measure them accordingly, just like they do everybody else. The dumbest thing in the world is, oh, you just hate the bliggity black man. You just hate, oh man, it's like, no, you're evaluating everybody. You know what I'm saying? You're evaluating everybody on the same accord. We want to know the length, the depth, the breadth, the width, the buoyancy, the capacity, the volume of all of them. The integral structure of them all. We don't just pick and choose. Oh yeah, I'm from Omaha, so I'm just rocking all things, and say some of the dumbest thing. Oh well, I'm from the town, so I'm getting down. That's the dumbest shit in the world. Oh yeah, man, I got all the matchroom fighters over the top ring fight. That's the dumbest shit in the world. I implore you to use your critical thinking skills to think about it like this. Like, gang culture has totally infused itself into boxing. It's no longer about who can get in the ring and put down the ones and the twos and who got the best skills and, you know what I'm saying, who's, you know, moving the right way and really seeking all of the smoke. Because now you can just get out there and say, I want to fight this person. And you get all the benefit of the doubt. I'm tired of giving people benefit of the doubt. I'm tired of going by what they said. You know what I'm saying? What they tweeted. I'm tired of going by that. We got to start looking at their actions. And so really, I wanted to come out here and just, you know, that's my little opening rant, shall I say, you know. But I'm looking for some contributions today, man. I'm looking for some good, engaging dialogue. I'm looking for some mental stimulation geared around boxing talk. You know, I play chess. You know, I've been playing like shit, 7, 8, 9 games a day. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing my chess, and normally when I do that in life, it's like because I'm working on something, and it helps me to map out the thing that I'm doing in life. You know, we got a lot of, you know, nice business ventures going on, you know, in my household where we're trying to level up. You know, we're taking the steps. We're taking the steps. Ain't nobody holding our hands and doing this and all of that. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 businesses that we're trying to grow, you know, and it's a process, but I'm enjoying the process. It's much like these guys when they don't, you know, before camp, when they already working out. They already, you know, doing the exercise. They're already watching what they eat. So, you know, they stand ready so they won't have to get ready. You know, and that's what we're doing. And it's a process. It's a process that I'm, you know, enjoying. But like, man, a lot of us out here, man, we condoning some bullshit when it comes to boxing, man. We not being right and exact. You know, we catering to this concept that I always say, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. You're letting boxing writers and content creators and people who, you notice how all these, like, it's like all these square ass dudes getting all these interviews where they're picking them and they don't know, they don't even care to know the history. They don't even care to know what was the results of this fight or that fight or what this guy record. They're just getting, you see how these people are getting handpicked and put in position with some of our favorite fighters to ask these questions. You see how they're being picked and put in front of you to do that. Whereas people that eat, sleep, and breathe boxing, that know this shit like the back of your head, that will cook the shit out of you if you come up here talking that bullshit. And they not getting a shot. Nobody's saying, everybody overlooking and acting like, they don't see them or whatever. It's like, man, boxing is weird. We are letting people infiltrate our sport. So just because it comes across your screen and somebody put a nice thumbnail up on it and you got a nice caption on it, you know what I'm saying? And that don't mean it is right and exact. We got to measure it. We got to go back to the back in the day, like way back in the day before our time, when they wanted, like, when you could say less and mean more. Why? Because people were more deeper. They weren't so surface level. They would measure everything. Everything had to be right and exact. Well, if not, you know what I'm saying, they wasn't. Everything had to be pristine. Everything had to be damn near perfect, even though nothing is totally perfect. You might get the semblance of it, but like, we have gotten away with it. It was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm with that. I'm riding with that. Like, we quick to co-sign. Like, hold on. Let's be just as critical in this boxing scene, that we are in our regular lives. But we, you know what I'm saying, you ain't going down that dark alley. You like, hold on, what time is it? Do I got my strap? Hold on, no, I'm not going out there. I don't got my strap. Who's over there? What's going on? Like, we more critical in real life than we are in boxing. We just take everybody's word for it because somebody tickle your fancies or you like their charisma or whatever. You just ride with whatever they say. It's like, you don't do that in life. You got people that got relationships, they got best friends that are telling. Do you question everything your best friend say? It's husbands and wives, is married people that question everything that they. But in boxing, you just blindly go with whatever somebody's saying because you like their charisma. They made you giggle a couple times. Or because they always get in the interviews. You just blindly just open your mouth and say for them. These things should not be so. We're not going to do it. We can't sell out. If you look at my arm, this right here, this says not for sale. That's what that say. It's just like this. This is like my Eagles tattoo. That's there. It ain't going nowhere. This angel, this black angel right here, I got him on. It ain't going nowhere. These hands rolling these dice. This ain't going nowhere. This right here, this not for sale. This ain't going nowhere. This say not for sale. So if I ever wear a short and I extend myself, you gonna read that and say I'm not for sale. I'm not for sale. They be saying everybody got a price. No, they don't. Some people just gonna ride with what we got. We gonna get it out. We gonna continue to get it out the mud. We gonna make our strides in life that we need. But we not doing nothing strange for a piece of change. And we not gonna say anything just to get some praise. We gonna give you that hard, tough, Tony. You know what I'm saying? That talk, that real spill, that real deal Holyfield. That's what we gonna do. We're not going to compromise, man. It's not a bag big enough. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough of that out here. So that's just my opening thoughts on everything. Cookie Monster, mic check, sounding crystal clear. That's what I like to hear. Sup, fam? Okay, Melazar, salute, Melazar. Yeah, let's chop it up, man. I want some interesting dialogue, man. I want some critical thinkers, man. I want some people that you ain't gotta agree with me, But yeah, have your logic and your reasoning intact, and let's have a real conversation. But before Maylazar get up here and, you know what I'm saying, and before he click, let me go ahead and get into the housekeeping and address that, you know what I'm saying, so I can get through that and we can really just cook on the subject matter at hand. All right. And I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate everybody in here. Let me get to this housekeeping. And I don't be in front of them. I don't be in front of the camera all the time because I want you to focus more on what I'm saying and what the conversation is more so than what I look like and if I got a booger in my nose. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all focused on what I'm saying. I think if I could do it all over again, I would have had a faceless channel where you never see me. You know, that way, as I grew, it wouldn't be based on, oh man, how was hairline today? Did he shape his mustache? Is his nose hair sticking out? Oh, he got hair growing out of there. Oh, he got another gray hair. Everything but what matters. You know what I'm saying? If I could do it all over again, I start all over again, I would have a faceless channel. But let's get into this. Let's get into the housekeeping. Number one, anybody not going to Zuffa is ducking. And I've heard a couple people I heard AC, you know, talk about this earlier this week. I heard Crush talk about it, and in their words, they were basically saying, I think AC's point was like, man, imagine Michael Jordan going to the D League, deciding that, hey, I don't want to deal with the press, the news, and then going to like the D League. Crush was saying the same thing, man, saying that like people who have rose and got these the status in boxing are just all of a sudden now jumping out the window to go over there. And all people can say is because of the money. But think about this common denominator. Do you notice that anybody that's not willing to twerk for the Turk, and that was a guy named Tip Bayless who be on the Boxing Voice, that's his saying, that's not mine. See, I give credit. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was funny the first time I heard him say it. But like, yeah, if you're not willing to, you know, kiss the nipple ring of Turkey Al-Sheikh, if you're not willing to get over, you know what I'm saying, and bend over for Zuffa, then you're ducking. It's like, no, like there was already fights. There was already a curriculum, agenda for fights to be had if people just stayed where they were at. And the only thing they can say is, oh man, Eddie came out and said, don't take my, Eddie said, man, these guys are willing to pay 5 times the market value for what they willing to pay 5 times. I see you, man. I got you in the background. I'm just gonna get through this housekeeping real quick. But they're willing to pay 5 times the market value right now, and that's what happened with Turkey. We give them credit because we saw some fights that we didn't know we really wanted. We got undisputed. We got a couple different undisputeds because of it. But like this thing where he's making the biggest, baddest fights and all that, it's like, yeah, he made some big fights. But to say that was his agenda, that was his MO, and that's all he did, that's not right and exact. He gave us some fights. It was some fights that we saw that was like, we didn't know we wanted to see it like that, and it turned out to be good. But like he was like, we always go back and ask, okay, well, why didn't we get the Virgil versus Boots? Because he didn't want it. Why didn't we get Bivol versus Benavidez the first time? Because he told Bivol, don't bite the hand that feeds you, and we didn't get it. You know, remember when Benavidez was supposed to get the winner? So Benavidez was on this track to where he was like, okay, look, I'm gonna move up and fight Zerto, because he went up to light heavy. Then he had got Anthony Yard. He said, look, I'm gonna go up and get Zerto. Once I take them 2 straps, I'm gonna go see Jao Bataya. All Jao Bataya had to do, he could have stayed where he was at, defended his title, you know what I'm saying, stayed busy, stayed where he at, and we would be getting a fight with Benavidez and Jao Bataya. You talking about talent versus talent, skill versus skill, 2 big fish in a small pond, really getting it on. And money, they would have got paid a king's ransom. But Jao Bataya decides to go over there and mess with Zuffa, and now Benavidez is ducking. We just seen one of my guys, Richardson Hitchens. We just seen him duck Duarte. Duarte go in there and get beat up by Fiera and get a decision, a whack ass decision. How did that age? But I can't say, people say, oh man, and you hear Richard, man, I went from pennies, I went from pinching pennies to I'm a millionaire now. It's like, okay, cool, get your money, little duffel bag boy. That's not what we're hating on. Pure boxing fans are saying, no, you ducked Duarte, bro. You dropped your strap. You could have defended against Duarte, bro. And then we thought you were sick. We gave you the benefit of the doubt, and you came out and said, no, I wasn't sick. It was the money, man. And then you go over to Zuffa. So anybody you fight, if they're not of the caliber of Duarte or better, because just because they line you up and they're gonna put the media out there and they're gonna say, oh man, this dude, man, he's very dangerous. He's this and this, and he might be. But we gotta wait and see. But we don't know who you're gonna fight. There was nothing etched in stone, and it's all this mystery. But people are going over to Zuffa Allen for the unknown. And anybody in the conversation with them is being called a duck. It's like, hold on. If you decide to go down to the D leagues, right? And I'm in the NBA, I'm in Major League Basketball. Like if I'm in the NFL and you decide to go over to the Canadian League, the CFL or wherever you know what I'm saying? If you decide to go play overseas, am I ducking you when you decide to go? You getting out of the big pond. You getting out of the known quantity to go somewhere for the unknown, and I'm ducking. We're ducking.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me, Melazar?
Yeah, I got you, but it's different. But okay, because Benavides is not ducking no Opetaya because Opetaya he took his decision. They sold him a business that was gonna be surround him, and he went for it. That was his decision. I'm not Benavides and Opetaya. Those are two different things, and they're in two different leagues. Opetaya took his decision, and he want to be super champion. Benavides took the decision to stay in the regular boxing environment, right? You see what now Mauricio want to do with him to defend a title to another guy that we don't even know about it, but whatever. I get there later. Like Zuffa, if you get like Hitchens, what Hitchens did, yes, that was a freaking dog. That was ducking. I was calling that out from long time ago, but whatever. But
I give you credit too. Yes, you were.
Zuffa. I think Zuffa want to build a new league. I've been talking about this because we know WBC, WBA are very dirty. WBO always walking the line, jump in this side, then jump in the other side, but try IBF, whatever. But what Zuffa is trying to build, I was not gonna hate on them because that's a company. I own some shares, so fuck it. Yes, and I want to see them making more money and selling bigger venues because I will get more revenues, right? But Zuffa is trying to make a league that be at the same level of NBA, Major League Baseball, all that stuff, because right now boxing is a wild west, and of course they want to keep it like that. Like look what Eddie Hearns do. He let the fights go for a bit, then he pay. Nobody's competing him to do the bid, so he pay like pennies for the dollar for these fights. Sometimes 1.5 million, sometimes 700,000 pennies for the dollars, right? In a bid that nobody competed it. Then he paid the boxers the 70-30 shit for what? For a $700,000 bid, and now you have to divide that in a 70-30 shit. He's very sleek in the way he do shit. Now Zuffa is offering these guys profit, money, like because all these boxers they fight for money. We think as fans they fight for glory. We give them the glory because we are the fans. We cheer them. We look up to them. All this stuff, right? We trash them. We hate them. All the shit that go to be a fan. But they actually go to fight for money. It's like me. I'm a gardener. I love to do gardening, but I am not gonna do all this labor for free. I do it in my house, in my place, and anyway, I take rent out of my landlord. Like I do all the shit. I have the house nice and clean, but I take rent out of my landlord. You feel me?
Mhm.
I still live in here, but shit, not for free, motherfucker. Or American. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sufa is offering a bunch of these boxers that they don't have a steady payroll. They don't have steady fights coming in. They don't have a lot of stuff, like they want to fight every like at least 3 times a year. They want to know you got work. You feel me? Because De Los Santos was like almost 2 years without a fight, and he was
Right.
training and shit, and that happened to a lot of boxers. So
Mhm.
I'm not saying that the people that go to Sufa are dogging the current boxers, but I will not gonna say to the current boxers that are in these alphabet titles and stuff, whatever. Like, oh, you're dogging the guy that is in Sufa. How? You are over there in Sufa in your league doing your shit. I'm over here in my league doing my shit. You know? But these step it up too, the promoters, to give us better fights. Like since Sufa show up, Turkey was throwing his money like, oh shit, we pump money out of the soil, so fuck it. So, they can spend it like that, but that's the Saudi Arabia money. That's the people of Saudi Arabia's money that he's blowing out like that. So anyway, it was gonna come to a stop because they were not gonna keep losing money like that, and people will be happy. So remember, Saudi Arabia is like a big corporation, and is the prince, but all these sheikhs are like the, how you call, the board of director.
Right.
So when you're spending money like that and you're wasting money, and now you're wasting the GPD of the country, shit, now people are like, hey, bro, and now we are in a war. These are attacking us. So that money supply is gonna stop. But TKO, remember, Sufa is under TKO Group, a public trade company. Anybody can own a piece if you want to put the money down, right? So
Right.
I'm not against it. I just want to see where it's going. Like, I really want Lomachenko to sign to Sufa. I want let me see another one. Even Subriel Matias sign over there. Fuck it, Like, it's a bunch of fighters that, I want to see them sign into Sufa, that maybe they're not top level star, but they still elite boxers with some name and recognition. So I go over there, right? And
Right. Look.
you start building up your shit.
Yeah. Is it safe to say? Is it safe to say that there is a market for certain fighters to go to Zufa, but not the marquee guys, right?
Yeah.
Like if LeBron, like you can't be out here acting like you LeBron, and then we hear you going to Zufa. Like that makes no sense.
Because
like,
Zufa is not in that level yet.
But guys like what you like Sugar Shane. I didn't like what you said about his father, but Sugar Shane Mosley going over there, Boy Truck going over there. Like guys like that. Maybe even like a Conwell who, because boxing is their profession, they can get a check on a regular, and then they can, build up, almost like what Pro Box did. Like Pro Box is the litmus test.
Roacy Ramirez will be another good shit for Sufa. He will have fights that he's not fighting for a minute, and he's a name that Cuban will go for it. He's a gold medalist. He's not in the prime of his career, but he still have gas in the tank.
Right.
¿Me entiende? But these, let's say these prime names, I don't want to see Ochaki. I don't want to see Sander. I don't want to see Benavides. I don't want to see these marquee top level athletes right now in Sufa, because Sufa is not in that level.
Right.
But I can see somebody that already passed their prime, but they're still good. And then young athlete that Sufa have, they can put it to see if they can get in that level. I don't know,
Right, but you do have the Pro Box, and I think Pro Box has been doing a good job at it, because people scoffed at it, but I love their motto. And they give people, this is one of the secret sauces, and this is where Zufa is failing too. Because at first I said I wanted to fail. It's like anybody that open American business, hey, if you run your business right and you're doing right by the people that you're paying, and you're not, pretty much being a con artist, okay, cool. I wish you much success. But like Demetrius Andre might do well over there at this point in time. So he can
Yes.
get, he can feed his family, build up his cachet the same way Pro Box, because people that went down to Pro Box, just like gladiator style, to where they give you 6 weeks of preparation. That's the difference. See, Pro Box giving you 6 weeks of preparation. They're not giving you these short notice fights to where you just fought 3 weeks ago and now you out here, and then people like, if you beat this guy, you can be at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro beating on your chest. Like, no, there is a market for certain fighters to go over to Zuffa, just like there is a market for certain fighters to go over to Pro Box. But Pro Box is gladiator zone. You might get your ass knocked out, but then if you have success, you can come back up. And now when you come back up, a la Angelo Leo, a la Lamont Roach, like Lester Martinez, until Tiger stopped his momentum, the last guy Tiger fought.
But then Tiger, everybody respect Tiger now, and Tiger is a name because he defeat Nikos Flas, because
Right.
we knew, everybody that watched Nico Flas know what Tiger Johnson did and who he defeat. This is not a bomb. This is not a tomato tank. This is a freaking good ass boxer that was coming up. So that's the good shit about Pro Box and that level. But if you was high and now you go to Pro Box, you're gonna lose. That Pro Box is like if you're starting or you're like a gatekeeper, stuff like that.
It's like it's like this, Melazar. I believe this. So we can transition into number 2 and we can get into the cook. But like, I believe this. Zuffa is like Pro Box, but they're like 2 years. They like 2 years behind, and they like the purses are on steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like, to where, like that's what it is. It's just like, so if you scoffing at Pro Box is established. Pro Box. This a Gladiator Flair once said, "Hey man, yeah, you can go down there, but like this, like gladiator school. Like you gonna go down there, and if you ain't right, you're gonna get found out. But like, it's like Pro Box just starting out. They can give you a short notice fight, and they got the UBO and all that shit behind them, and then their purses are on steroids. It's like you don't know what you're going to get, and everybody that they sign, they got to sign an opponent, and they're not going to sign a marquee name, and then they're not going to sign King Kong and then go sign Godzilla to go fight King Kong over there. They're not. Like Jao Batar versus Brandon Glanton was a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? It's a perfect example. Like Brandon Glanton wasn't Godzilla, even though Jao Batar was looking like King Kong. But they're like Pro Box 2 years behind with a purse that's on steroids. So if you scoff at Pro Box, you got to scoff at Zuffa, and you got to question why are marquee guys like the Michael Jordans, the Carmelo Anthony's, the LeBrons, why are they going over to Zuffa right now when you can get the same thing in the traditional market? The way it's been, it's like, no, certain people are going over there to duck. So I'll land right there on that point.
Zuffa is it. They got like the guys that work for Zuffa, right? They're selling this shit to these young boxers, like this promised land, like this green in the other side of the fence. They're selling this big company. Like, I don't know if it's gonna come up or not, right? Like Pro Box did that to Najee Lopez. That is why he signed up with them, because they had a plan, and they showed him the plan that they got, their vision, and he say he's coming up. I believe, you know what? If TKO Group and Zuffa buy Pro Box to add it up to Zuffa to be like kind of the farm system, that shit will work out too, because they got the capital to buy fucking Pro Box, whatever they got over there, the company, and just merge it and keep up with the flow. You don't need to change the commentators or stuff like that. You just merge it and just be feeding Zuffa with the Pro Box guys and stuff like that. That can happen too.
Let me ask you something, Melazar. Like from your experience, right, looking at David Benavidez and how he moved, have you ever known David Benavidez to duck anybody?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell
I just want to make sure, man. I just want to make sure because it's odd that now all of a sudden it's all these networks and all these outlets saying, talking about how David Benavidez is ducking. And I'm like, that's not, he hasn't shown anything
Ducking
like
who?
that.
Ducking who?
Like Ja. They saying he ducking Ja. Like there's a consummate, concerted effort to make it look like David Benavidez is ducking Ja. I'm like, by definition, he can't be ducking.
And what Ja got to offer to Benavidez to make it fight? What he got? He got a title. He got like what you got? What you got to offer me that to fight you, my career gonna get elevated, or we're gonna sell out a freaking stadium in Las Vegas, MGM Grand, AT&T Arena? Are we gonna sell the whole the AT&T Arena or the T-Mobile Arena? My bad. We're gonna sell out that one. Fighting you? No. You got a title? No. So what the fuck are you talking about docking you? You are nobody anyway. You got a good name, but you got nothing to offer. Fuck.
Yeah. So let me transition to number 2. I try to be honest in this manner to where I don't come out and do videos about Tank every day, even though people know I'm a huge Tank fan. I don't agree with everything. And even when the Lamont fight, I came out and said, hey man, by definition, Lamont won. So I'm not biased in that manner. I'm not gonna be all things Baltimore, because even when Jahad Tucker fought Lorenzo Simpson, I was saying, no, I got Jahad, and I listed my reason. I was like, man, I think Lorenzo is going through a fat cat, and I love Lorenzo. I love the story. I'll be watching him on IG. I do all that, but I'm not just going to be like how people just be because they from New Jersey. They all things New Jersey, and New Jersey can't do no wrong, and they don't never. People from New Jersey don't never do nothing wrong in their book, but because they're based in New Jersey, everybody that comes out of there is just like people from Philly. They do the same thing. Me living in Baltimore, being from PG County, Maryland. Like, I don't do that. I go out of my way not to do that because that's like, no, I don't want to be like them. So I say that to say this. There was a guy, I think he was like 34-0 with like 31 knockouts or something. And they was like, Sean Zattel interviewed this guy one time and he was saying, yeah, I want Tank and I'll knock him out. Nobody knows shit about this dude. They didn't know. And they was like, yeah, he got to fight him and all this. And then anybody that said Tank name, if Tank didn't entertain them or send him an offer or do whatever at the status that he was, well, he was the money man and he's the knockout man, 93.33%. You can't argue with that. That's the same praise that he was giving Berturbiev. That was the same praise at one time that he was giving people like bum-ass Berlanga at one time, to where it's like you can't, and then the level of competition and the people that went on to do big things after him, you cannot deny that. But it's funny how if Tank didn't entertain them or Tank didn't say, oh yeah, I'll fight him next or I'm open to that, he was automatically ducking. But anybody that says Devin's name is automatically clout chasing. And I'm like, hold on, keep the same energy. Like when you are in that peg, and let's just say, let's remove Tank from the conversation. Let's just say he's inactive and he got some legal stuff going on and we don't know. So that's how I've been treating. I'm like, look, man, I'm not including him in a lot of things because right now it's irrelevant. Boxing moves on. Like, yes, he's still a name. Yes, he's still that guy. Yes, we know his skills. He's on a hiatus right now. Leave him out. So when you put your guy in that same slot, let's keep the same energy. So everybody that says Devin's name is not clout chasing. If they weren't clout chasing with a bump in that guy that I was telling you about that was like 34-0 or some crazy shit. I think he might have got up to 40 victories with like 30-something knockouts. Like nobody, like we don't know who he was match made with. We don't know who he was fighting. He got to that status as far as a record wise, but we know, okay, we got to examine your resume. I didn't know nobody on this dude's resume. He went over there to TCL where they fight round by round, where you know, it's pretty much tag where you fight this guy one round, and if you make it, you might have to fight him later in the round. He went over there and got his ass dropped twice in one round. Got his shit busted up in one round. But it ain't the same when it comes down to certain fighters. So like anybody that just says Devin because he's in the position that he's in, anybody that say Shakur because he's in the position that he's in, it's not clout chasing if their actions and the things that they've done in boxing like is on a trajectory to lead them to that. See, anybody can come in and say, oh, I want Tank next. It's like everybody say, oh yeah, that's what you're supposed to say. But when people say, oh, I want to fight Devin, like Tiger Johnson with the history they got, oh, I want to fight Devin. Oh man, you clout chaser. Like Oshaki with Shakur, oh man, you clout chaser. It's like it's not a clout chase when your trajectory is leading and your behavior is leading you to a fight in that magnitude. It can't be different for Tank where any and everybody can say his name. Even when Oshaki won, he said, listen, I want Shakur because I beat his little man and he gave me his word. If I can't get Shakur, then Navarrete would be cool, or unification with Kakase would be good. And then they said, well, what about Tank? They said, well, what about Tank? Oh, I would love that fight. Then it's publicized, oh, Oshaki calls out Tank. That's not what happened. But nobody can say they want to fight Devin, and nobody can say they want to fight Shakur without it being labeled a clout chase. What you think about that?
Well, Tiger Johnson and Devin can be a good fight if you don't find nobody else. Like Oshaki, we are the one. Like because I understand like some people want to watch Shakur versus Oshaki and shit, but we're the one out there like, nah, we want fucking Oshaki beat the shit out of Navarrete, and we see that. Yeah, Shakur shit and whatever, but the other side, like all the Spanish speaking boxing fans and all this stuff, like now we don't even give a damn about the Shakur and Oshaki. We already been lost. Like, what these guys want to fight? They're freaking weight a class apart, right? Like, we want to see Oshaki versus not, because most of us believe that Oshaki can beat Navarrete because we know Navarrete is a weight bully, right? And Oshaki got the abilities to beat him up in his own game and stuff. Like he got all the skills. Like, and some people think that he don't got power. It's just he don't need the power because he gonna make sure he gonna punish you and you don't touch him and shit, you know. And he like, and if he needs the power, he can knock people out. But what the fuck are they gonna knock you out when I'm schooling you, right? Like, some people like his fight.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Melizar.
Haney, like when Haney don't have his fight schedule, he's cloud chasing all these fights, making fights that like what the fuck, Keyshawn, bro, you just got to 147 and you've been irresponsible and cannot make. You don't make the weight because you cannot do the weight. You don't beat the way because you was irresponsible in the camp and you believe your talent is the only shit that you need to beat this guy. And was always like, but that's the reason Volkmack kicked him and his brothers out of his freaking gym. He don't choose to go. No, Volkmack kicked them out because you're irresponsible. They don't want to put the work. They think their talent is the only shit they need, right? So I see freaking Keyshawn versus Haney. I see that a cloud chasing from the freaking Haneys and stuff. Like, they're just calling names and making lists and all these bullshits just to stay relevant. Because actually nobody fucking care about a fight of freaking Haney. You know?
We gonna cook on that, but let me ask you this. Would you say that based on the history between Shakur and the chain of events that we just happened, would you say that Oshaki is clout chasing Shakur because he's saying he want to fight him?
Not clout.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's not like we're lost. Like, what the fuck, Shakur? Are you fucking talking shit to this guy that is 2 weight class lower than you? And why you're entertaining even this shit? And then we're like, Oshaki, why you care about this fucking fool? go for Navarrete, be the best 130-pound in the world, make a name for yourself. Like we're lost in the way. Like what the fuck these two are arguing and making shit when they're like, and more Shakur, because Shakur is like, bro, you got other fish to fry. Why you're entertaining a 130-pounder? Like why? Like what? And Ochak is responding to his shit, and I know he want to fight but you got other bigger fish too. Ochaki, you got the 130 to lock them down, to be the undisputed. Then you can conquer. You can do your. You don't need to be Shakur to make a name and make money because already people are watching you. You are entertaining the freaking American everybody, and people believe you can beat Navarrete. And I think in beating Navarrete will be bigger for Ochaki's career than a fucking fight with Shakur in 140 pounds, because he's not coming down to 135. Nobody think he's gonna do a cashway or no shit. Ochaki has to move up to 140. And that's another different ball game because we're fighting in another weight class, and it's everything changed. So, Ochagi, if you listen to this, focus in Navarrete or the other guy that got another title, unified it, then try to, be your own man, because we believe in you. It's not like, oh shit, no, he's trash, or no, cabrón. We believe in Ochagi. And we want Ochagi to be the best 130 pound. And we want Shakur to do your shit and stop entertaining fights that will not gonna happen. Because that's the fucking shit that pissed me off. It's riling up all these people, all these boxing fans and stuff. But this shit will not gonna happen. It's just riling up people in the media and shit. So, oh, he's talking. No, he's not talking. He's like, for a fight that I'm telling you is not gonna happen. That's the part that pissed me off.
So I'm gonna do a cook, just for you. I'm gonna do a cook based on Navarrete and the history and how he's ducking, because Oshaki, he said, yeah, man, I want the Navarrete, but he's saying, man, this man been avoiding me for 2 years. So, and Lamont is locked up. They got history when they was in the same division, but like, I'm gonna do a cook based on Navarrete ducking. So I think that's what we need to go ahead and change gears and shift our focus to, because Shakur, he's his eyes on something else. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. Let me get to the last one though, so we can go ahead and get into what you said, because you touched on this Devin and Shakur thing. But let me just do this last one. If the money right, like how Biggie got a lyric, he said, man, if the head right, Biggie there every night. That's a given. That's like if you single, right? You meet somebody, you single, you ain't got no obligations, she's single, you find her attractive, she find you attractive, y'all have time available, y'all adults, y'all got a space, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's consenting to everything, y'all feeling each other. It's a given that it's going down. So I'm tired of people saying if the money's right. Like that is a given to the equation. Like Madazar made an example about how he's in gardening or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I love what I do, but in the essence, I'm doing it for the money. I'm not going to be doing this for free. Like otherwise, I'll find something else to where I can actually, support myself and pay all my bills and feed my family off of, if, even though I love what I do, I'm doing it for the money. Like, I'm tired of hearing boxers, right, and fans getting away to fight saying, oh, man, the money. It's like, it's a given. If the money is right, so you don't need to say that, because when I hear that, all I hear is quack, 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 because we don't need to hear it. There's been fights that's been made, and then they posted and say, oh, shit, this shit really going down? Oh, he's really fighting this guy. Like when Brian Norman and Devin, we heard about it, but when Brian Norman and Devin was announced, I said, oh shit, Devin really gonna fight this dude? And I was, wrong or not, the outcome in hindsight, I was wrong as fuck. I ate my crow and all that. But like, listen, let's stop letting these guys off the hook when they say the money ain't right. Right? Because they're different. When they say there are different levels, right? you cannot skip the levels that Floyd is probably the best example. You got Pretty Boy, then you got Money May. Well,
And took him a
Pretty
minute to
Boy,
become Money Mayweather. Took him a minute and a lot of freaking hard work. Wasn't just
right.
oh.
Right. He had to fight. We don't know what he got paid. We can go probably Google it and try to find out. We don't know what he got paid for Emmanuel Augustus. We don't know what he got paid unless you go back and you Google it and you look up, you know what I'm saying, what was going on with Floyd prior to the Oscar De La Hoya. That was the changing of the guard. When he stepped up and said, listen, I don't care. Whatever it was going to take. So a lot of people that was like, quote unquote, the money man with Tank, like some people just like, look, like with Frank was like, shit, I'm taking this fight. Like, I'm going. Ryan was like, man, I'm fuck Oscar and what he talk about. I gotta get off the pot. I gotta go see what's going on. And he was doing it all right until Tank caught him. You know what I'm saying? He was doing good, but like I'm tired of actually hearing boxers say if the money right. That is a given to the equation. Because if my job is like, I'm work for myself, so it's not it's a job in classification, right? It's you know it's a job, but like I work for myself. So if the money ain't right, I would not sign a contract with these people and show up and do my obligation for what it was if the money wasn't right. Like that is a given. Stop saying that, boxers, because you sound like a duck. Because when you start talking about that, when you start saying shit like that, then all I hear is quack, quack, quack. Because we know you have one of the most dangerous professions other than driving, I believe. You have one of the most dangerous professions because you directly get hit in the head, and all it takes is one accident, and you're done. You're gonna be paralyzed. You're gonna die. Things like that. But like, whenever I hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, man, yeah, man, if the money right," but with other fighters, they're like, "Oh, I'll take that right now." Yeah, because I know. When I hear you say that I'll take this fight and that fight and nothing's come up about the money, and then when another name is introduced and you say, oh man, if the money is right, then I'll do it. That is duck talk. That is a given for your profession. The money has to be right for the fight to take place. That is not something for you to do. And I know the Haneys, they are famous for this. They want to always put the money or some aspect of that to get people going, bickering back and forth. That ain't none of our business. That shit should be behind closed doors. Some of the biggest fights have been made, and we never knew nothing about the negotiations. Yeah, we didn't know.
What the fuck?
We don't care.
My problem. I want to see the fight.
Yeah, so that's the last one, man. Whereas I'm like, man, the minute you hear a boxer say if the money right, then yeah, we can do it. We can get it on. That's just, you sound like, man, you don't really want to fight, and if you can't, rake these guys over the coal or make these guys overextend themselves, then you're not going to take the fight. Well, you got to gauge what level you're at, because you got to look at, let's go back. This is the litmus test. Go back and look at Floyd, and then we got to add in a little bit of inflation. But go back and look at Floyd and everybody who he fought prior to Oscar De La Hoya, and then look and see if he was ever saying, oh, if the money was right. It's like, no, he knew he had to work up, and when that Oscar opportunity came, I think he took like an 80-20 or some split that was way more favorable to Oscar, but Oscar was the golden boy. Oscar was, the Olympian, you know what I'm saying? He was the guy that was the man, so he had to do what he needed to do to supersede that guy. But we know you get hit in your head, so yeah, you can't let nobody rake you over the coals. But look at what Devin did. Devin wasn't saying if the money was right. He took peanuts to go across seas to fight Kambosos twice. We never heard shit about the money. So when you hear Devin talking about the money and how Rolly, oh yeah, the money was right, that's the first thing they say. Never heard that. Only to come around and end the negotiation saying, oh, the money wasn't right. Well, how was it right in the beginning, but it wasn't right in the end? And that's the first thing you said. That is duck talk. Stop it. And that's the last one, Melazar. That was the last one, man. As far as the housekeeping, so we can get into the full cook now. Let me see. Salute, Miss Coleman. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Sometimes I be in my head. I be like, man, did I say something to offend this person? I'm gonna keep saying what I say. You know what I'm saying? Because I know after I made a post, somebody unsubscribed, and I'm like, well, you wasn't meant to be here. But it's good to see you, Miss Coleman. I know people have their lives and life be lifing, but good to see you, man. Thanks for your support. But like, let's transition into the cook. Let's transition into this. I want to talk about this. Let's see. I want to talk about this because I'm seeing a pattern. So right now, I'm the question of the day is, I'm saying not again, because it's odd when I said this, and I don't know, this might have been a month or two ago when I put this up, and I was saying these are the Linguini brothers. These guys get to say all these names, and they get the benefit of the doubt for the month, the 2 months, the 3 months, while they're saying all these names in between a fight being announced, and they get the benefit of the doubt the whole time. I say, man, I've seen this from these guys to where they arbitrarily pull out names, say these names, and they never fight these guys. That's the Linguini method, where like pasta, you know, when spaghetti is done, you could throw it up across the fridge. If it sticks, then it's done. If it fall off, then it need to cook a little bit longer. Well, these guys are pros at the Linguini method. And I'm saying, hold on, y'all are putting up all these names. Keyshawn was #1 in the WBO for Shakur, but we knew that they was never going to fight. I'm past asking them to fight because there will be no aggression. There'll be no I'm trying to hurt you in that fight. So I'm past asking for Keyshawn versus Shakur. That's why I put out that they're Batman and Robin. They're Wily Kid and Wily Cat. You know what I'm saying? They are never going to fight. So I'm past that. But I was saying, hold on. How come Devin calling all these names? You calling all these names? You saying you going to 47, but y'all won't fight each other? And look down at the bottom and say, won't fight each other. So when I was saying it, it's like, oh, man, here you go. You just want to blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I was trying to make a big fight. Now we come full circle to where we're seeing and hearing this now. But I'm like, what's the motivation for this now? Because I came up with this. I said, this was almost like 50 Cent, that magazine cover when he was on the cover with Soulja Boy, and Shakur's acting like 50 Cent and Keyshawn acting like Soulja Boy, to where he's under the tutelage of 50. And I'm thinking, look, I said, how was the conversation? How did you arbitrarily choose De Los Santos? Because people wanted to see the rematch with Shakur and De Los Santos. How did you get Jermaine Ortiz? Because Jermaine Ortiz had a signed contract with Shakur name on it, and they didn't for it. Even though Jermaine Ortiz was able to get T.O., Jermaine Ortiz was able to get Loma.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then we just seen where Shakur got T.O. So if he had a signed contract, he never got that fight, but that was really your smoke. How the fuck did Keyshawn want to fight him? And then I put up Dev there because that fight with De Los Santos didn't happen. And I put up Dev there saying, listen, that's Shakur's work. Remember when Shakur got in the ring, he had that gay ass Dennis Rodman shirt on. You know what I'm saying? He got in the ring and all this, whatever, and everybody got worked up about it. That's your work. So when I was saying Linguini bros, and why y'all just won't fight each other since y'all saying all these names and Keyshawn want to go up, people was ridiculing me, saying, oh man, here you go again, here you go, putting up, you know, this, he just wanted to see Devin get beaten, all this. But here we go again, right here, not now. And it's like, well, how come now? How come now? What's the motive? I'm not getting the way to fight. I want to fight. Remember, I put up Linguini bros saying, y'all won't fight, just fight each other. That'll solve everything. Nobody's going to be, you know, protesting that fight. Fight each other, goddammit. But now, all of a sudden, Keyshawn saying, you next light skin. And I'm wondering, how much of this is Shakur making Keyshawn another crash dummy, just like we just saw Lil Ray be a crash dummy for Oshaki.
Oh, you light skin and shit, like like your skin color gonna give you some power. Oh, if I'm darker than you, that means I'm stronger than you. No, motherfucker. It's not even in the skin color. The skin color has to do shit. Look, Dalton Smith with Surin Mati. I use a lot of examples. I don't have to bring all of them and shit. Fuck that stuff. But you feel me? Like, motherfucker, stop with that shit, because you're riling people in the wrong. We don't need to keep making, and more, we make more Americans, more fucking race bullshit. Like, bro, like, yes, you know what? Devin and Rolly, that can be a fucking good main event, and Devin fuck it up that one. and that's a fucking huge dog. And I see him cloud chasing the name of Keyshawn, the name of Shakur, the name of, because they're names right now. They're names, and fucking people can like it or don't like it. I don't care, but they're names. So you're cloud chasing these names. You and Keyshawn is so full. I really like his boxing. I like it in the ring. What he was doing when he was with Top Rank and Bomac. But bro, what he have become, and now you're gonna, why you gonna go to 47? Yeah. When in 40 you got so many shit to do. Go and get that WBC title. Go on and do, what the fuck? Okay, it's a lot of weight you can fight in 140 and don't fight Shakur for a long time and then move up in weight. But at least do something, because the last shit you did, you missed weight. Like what you did in 135, so that shit don't count. And it's looking bad. And I like his boxing. I like his boxing skill. I like his knockdown. I like how he moves. How he's not just boxing in the back foot. He move forward and he attack. He do all kind of shit. I like his boxing abilities. Don't get me wrong. But you're irresponsible. And this bullshit. Oh, we're brothers and we don't fight. Motherfucker, you claiming you're a fucking Regan. So if you're claiming you're a fucking Regan, you have to fight anybody and you don't have to give a fuck. There's no brotherhood in boxing. What do you mean? Oh, we're brothers. No, motherfucker. Let's make money. Let's fight. Let's be the best in the world. That's the reason I think Sufa, little by little, gonna keep getting more ground, because it's gonna make more interesting fights, and he gonna make their names. He gonna hire other names, and they gonna take time. It's not gonna happen this year, maybe not next year, but by the third year, I think Sufa gonna be a recognizable name, legit name, and stuff like that, if they keep fooling like this. Like Bill, he get coke up, right? And he go to this cheerleader network over there, the cheerleader boys of boxing, and start talking dumb stuff, and people are buying this shit, and then people are like, oh no, but Bill say this. Bill is a nobody. He's a freaking cokehead that he just trying to cloud chase everybody, and bro, I'm tired. You know what we have been talking? Russell versus People Cruz. Bro, that fight is coming up. I think they signed and stuff like that, and maybe Russell will be fighting People Cruz. That's the shit we have to be talking, not about these fucking fools and their cloud chasing shit.
But that's what the word on the curb is.
Yeah, Russell versus Cruz. That's coming up. That they signed some. I don't know if they signed the contract yet, but it's in the making. The place is not but it's in the making. I think they signed a contract. But yeah. And Russell versus Cruz, that's a complicated fight for Russell, because Cruz is coming always forward. But it's very dangerous for Cruz too, because Russell got the power, and we know if you keep him away, a lot of other guys have beaten him before, so it's not like he's undefeated. So I don't know. I think that's a good fight.
I think that's gonna look worse. I think that's gonna look worse than what Ryo did, man. I think he might fuck around and be the first one to put Cruz out of his misery, man. I don't know. Because, Cruz got a little bit of that. I rise to the level of my competition, too. He got a little bit of that in him, too. I got to give him credit on that. But, let me address what Aso Stain said. He said, I'm going to keep saying that Shakur will never fight a threat unless he has at least 5 advantages. And that's what I've been saying. He want to pull Oshaki up to 40, but he'll go down to 35 to fight Mortaia. He know Mortaia busting at the seams. And also, this is what, I ain't no conspiracy theorist, but you be connecting dots too, Aso Stain. You know what I'm saying? You seem like an intelligent brother. But Keyshawn will always take Shakur's harder fights. Why y'all think he would Jay Prince? And that's what I'm saying. When you look at Jay Prince, right, and the guys that he has Abdullah, Shakur, and Keyshawn. And then look at how all they're moving. Abdullah is the only one doing things the way
Yes.
to help
Yes.
boxing.
Yes. Abdullah. Oh my God, Abdullah Mason, papi. Yes. Yes. He got a problem very close. El Veneno Chavez, the Argentinian. That guy got power and stuff. The guy has never crossed, I think, the 4-5 round because the guys get knocked out before that. But it's a problem. So, but yeah, Abdullah Mason, yes.
But see, I'm thinking, man, this is why I be saying I be trying not to come across as a conspiracy theory, because I know people only put up that title or they link things with it so that you can put it up with some of the crazy conspiracy theory. Because if you label one thing conspiracy theory, you gotta put it in the same room as all the other things that's just like totally outrageous and far-fetched. And I think people do that, but at the same time, I think that these guys be in the back room, and Jay Prince, he knows that he might have lightning in the bottle with Shakur, because I don't know if he'll get another Shakur in his lifetime. I mean, he did have Floyd, and then he fucked it up, and you got the history between him and Floyd and what happened with them and all the threats and all the backstories and the drops. If you know the history behind that. But he got Shakur now, and I think he's moving Shakur in a way to where it's like he's acting like he's flying China out of a China cabinet, and he don't want to put him or allow him to do anything, and he's moving funny in the process. Because notice how there's never no association with Shakur fighting Gary Antoine Russell. And I'm gonna keep saying this. And they took what Gary Antoine Russell way out of context. Gary Antoine Russell came out and said, I know this guy ain't gonna want to fight me, so I'll probably fight Shakur last, but I'll take Andy Dalton and what, because he's like, basically what he was saying was, if you do the math, if he got a belt, then he go take another belt, and he go take another belt, he'll do what Spence did with Bud, where I got 3 straps now, like, and if you in my weight division holding a strap, you gotta fight me. So he said, I'll fight him last, because then he'll have the leverage. Right now it's an A side to where Shakur had to come out his mouth and say, all right, I want Gary Antoine next. He's not going to do that. Why? Because he used to spar with Gary Antoine and the Russells. He ducked Mr. Gary Russell when he was down there in that division. The same way he did Oshaki when he was down there in that division. And they had history. So nobody ever brings up the fact that Gary Antoine Russell, the same pressure they applied with Hitchens when he was like, oh, you got to fight Gary Antoine. When he was calling out Devin, oh, you got to fight Gary Antoine after he stopped Cambosa. You got to fight Gary Antoine. He was like, I want T.O. and I want Devin. They said, no, you got to fight Gary Antoine Russell. When Shakur moved up and he beat T.O., because T.O. kept his hands in his pockets, he was on his best behavior. He didn't really want to fight. He didn't come to fight that night. I'm not making excuses, but it is what it is. Shakur did it what he was supposed to do. But it was never no pressure with Gary Antoine, and because Gary Antoine say, I'll fight him last, they say, oh man, he don't want no smoke with Shakur. It's like, no, dummy. Use your critical thinking skills. Gary Antoine was saying, listen, I know he don't want to fight me. So if I go collect these other straps, because my goal is to be undisputed. If I go collect all the other straps, fight my mandatories and go collect all the other straps, he really ain't gonna have no choice. So he'll be, I'll basically be in essence saving the best for last. And and all the people online say, oh man, Gary Antoine, look at how he talking, man, and he don't really want that Shakur smoke. It's like, what about Gary Antoine say that he wouldn't fight Shakur? What about him?
That fight that he got with the Japanese, I really like his corner, his brother. I think he's better with his brother in the corner. Bro, how he told him to adjust, what was going on, and because the Japanese started to get in his rhythm in the latest round, and he was hitting him really hard in the liver and shit, bro, and his brother was able to talk to him, taking out, adjust, and just overcome it, and for me that was really impressive, and I think he's a PBC guy. PBC's guys don't fight more than twice a year because that's how PBC won and whatever. But yeah, they're gonna call him, he's talking who? He's fighting, he's making, look, he don't give a fuck. He fought Puello, lost, whatever, he went and captured another strap, and now he's doing his thing. He's not calling out worthless fight that's not gonna just, let me call out these guys and these guys and these guys. For what reason if that fight is not gonna happen? They got more different style. Like, yeah, Shakur is for Jersey. He's used to this fucking bullshit, the media. They gaslighting everybody. That's the word, gaslighting. They like to gaslight everybody just just to make views and just to make likes, and you know how this fucking shit work.
And I can see
Really
that ASO
stupid.
staying. Anyone linked to Tank, I believe Jay Prince will snatch him up in hopes of having someone on his roster to fight Tank for the mega fight. I believe so. They do that. Exactly, by the way. They pick and choose little parts out of the statement and run with it. But when Shakur says something, yeah, then they become interpreters and mind readers and therapists. And it's like, man,
Fucking
that shit be
incorrect.
funny as hell, man.
Bro, no, mira, we Tank. When the first time I hear bullshit was with Frank Martin. I was like, Frank Martin is a damn good boxer. He knocked out this guy, the Dominican kid that was kind of playing the lead act and whatever, and he was good. That Rivera guy, he was good, and he knocked him out, right? So I knew him, but whatever. Okay, then they're calling the fucking champion, the 130-pound champion, moving up in weight class, want to be champion in the next weight class, that guy is trash.
Right.
Navarrete did that shit like 3-4 times, right? Going up in weight class,
Yep.
with WBO and fighting the champ. So I was
Yep.
like, what do you mean? He's the fucking champion. Well, why you gonna say me that he's trash because the champion wanna fight the other champion? What? No, but then, and all these guys have proven wrong everybody. So is the media, right? Who is the guy that we like? Who is the guy that we dislike? Who is the guy that we can control? The guy that we cannot control, And they play this gaslighting shit. So you have to keep your eyes open and your ears open. Not everything that you hear is true, and not everything that you see is accurate. Like, this is a shady fucking world, and more the boxing world, money driven. So I keep thinking Sufa will take advantage of all this shit that is happening, right? Like you can see it. You can see all this gaslighting. You can see all this fucking wild west style business. So Sufa gonna take advantage, and we start giving people what they want. Right now, people don't like Sufa that much because Dana White is the fucking face. And I think TKO groups need to take Dana White out of the fucking face of Sufa boxing and put somebody else that will not gonna make the fan base like feel the wrong way, right? Well, he got his history and shit. A lot of people. So if you want your product to sell, but let's see. And we'll tell. But Gary Antoine Russell, versus Pitbull Cruz. That can be a freaking good ass fight, toe to toe, a power versus, or can be a strategic fight, and dismantle Cruz little by little, or can be pull relentless pressure and run through Russell defense and shit, So I think it's really entertaining, and I like it because both guys are good, both guys are entertaining, and I don't know. This is the shit I want to see. I don't want to be listening to these dumb fucks texting each other and making stupid videos and stuff. No, motherfucker. I want to see you in the ring fighting. If you're not fighting in the ring, I give a fuck what you text. That's it. That's how I see it.
Hey, let me ask you something though. I don't know what happened there. I don't know. I accidentally got kicked out the studio or something, but I got back in. But let me ask you something, because I know you like Keyshawn. I know my father-in-law, he's high on Keyshawn, and I'm like, I've noticed the skills, but I don't like the fact that he keep getting all these passes, and like we hold everybody else accountable. But like, what do you think the genuine motivation behind Keyshawn and Devin is? How do you feel about it? Because look, when you look at 35 and how he got his belt, he got a strap. We can't discount it. He's an Olympian. We can't discount that. But like when you look at the level of competition and what he did and when he fought people, right? And then you look at what he did at 140. He rematches Nair Albright here lastly. He didn't stop him like he said, and he actually stopped Jermaine Ortiz late. Now Jermaine Ortiz didn't fight up to his level of ability, even though I'm not discounting Keyshawn stopping him. It's like, that's on your record. You got stopped to the body. I'm all about body work. So I don't knock none of that. But for him to jump to the front of the line for Devin, when I was saying, hey, go ahead and fight Devin, since you keep saying you're a 47-pounder, go ahead and go for the smoke. Fight Rolly, fight Ryan, fight Devin. It just happened. The conversation is around Devin. That's the only reason why I'm talking about it now. But what do you think his real motivation for fighting Devin is right now? Is it legit? Should he be able to do that? Like, how do you feel?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, he's not gonna fight for a title for the next 3 fights. This is why, because Top Rank, he's trying to get out of Top Rank, right? But Top Rank, every time you fight for a title, you get an automatically five fight contract.
Great point.
So he already fought for the title, got that contract. That's the reason I believe he dropped it, right? The weight limit, whatever, they took it off. So the fight is not that fight don't happen. But now he's not fighting for the title. The next fight, he fight Jermaine Ortiz. That's not a title fight. This one, he fight Albright. It's not a title fight, right? So he needs 3 more fights to get out of Top Rank contract, so then he can sign with all this bullshit. That's what Shakur told him, dude, because Shakur got out of Top Rank that way. He don't fought for a title and he let it, but whatever. So if you want to get out of Top Rank contract, you cannot fight for a title, because as soon as you grab a title, you're gonna be locked up to them forever. So I think that's what they're trying to avoid. But I don't like what he's been doing, right? Like, the fucking missing weight, bro. Come on. Now they rank you number 1, 140. Okay, they put you over Ojo Santiago. You're fighting more. You got a bigger name, whatever. Yeah. But now you even make the fighting 140 because you missed that weight. And now you're moving up, you want to move up to 147, or you're gaslighting the people and talking about a fight that will not going to happen, and you're fooling the people, or you are just a freaking fool, because who the fuck going to do that? For what? What money are you making? Because you're still fighting under Top Rank. So, I don't know. Melazar, bro. You just dropped one of the biggest jewels I've heard. I haven't heard no shit like that for the last. It had to be 3 weeks to a month before I heard somebody really like say what it is. Like, you know what? You are exactly right, bro. You are exactly right, bro. Like, man, because listen, I was one of the ones saying, man, and it's like I be coming up like conspiracy theorists, but I was saying, man, the fact that in his last, think about this, Melazar, just to your point, an hour before he was about to weigh in, they was buying time at the weigh-in or whatever, because they were saying, yeah, we got reports that Keyshawn, he's having a little trouble. Now, appointment is an appointment. You can't arbitrarily. I don't give a fuck if you would start like Tank. He be showing up late. That's a pet peeve of mine sometimes. But he kind of like, it's he do that kind of shit. But like at a weigh-in, not a press conference, but at a weigh-in, the time is the time. But Chris Mannix came out with like, yeah, we got word that he's down. You got to lose his last. You got to lose whatever, and speculations he might not make weight. They made all this hoopla, right? He came in and he didn't. I said, man, he did that shit on purpose, bro. He did that on purpose, bro. I was one of the only ones, and I was in that video, the video beforehand. I said, man, I said I was gonna make a joke about whether or not he made weight, but then I said, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because he made weight against Jermaine Ortiz. Only for him to come in and not make weight originally, and have to go back and do that little whatever sauna, whatever. I don't even think he had to do that. This dude did that shit on purpose, bro. And it speaks to your point, Melazar. That is a thing with Top Rank, because that's what T.O. was going through. T.O. went through the same thing. So he was trying to stink up the joint and get out of it so he can be free. I peeped that the whole time. You are the first person I have heard verbalize that, and you are
10 times 10, 100% correct, bro. Thank you for that, man.
He's doing it in the right way, but I think, you know, by the freaking shit that he's been saying, other boxers, their contract, all this stuff, you know, that's where I get. But I'm not like, cabrón, at least make the weight. I'm not asking you to fight for a fucking title, but
be professional. It's just like with Fulton. You see that bullshit about Fulton talking about Lamont's bodyguard had to pick him up and put him in the shower and all that. I'm like, that's the gayest shit I've ever heard, because you lost, bro. You had the same excuse for anyway, all these different things. You lost, bro. So if I was a professional boxer, I wouldn't give that nigga a shot. Like, Fulton, you done with me, because if I fight you, I almost feel like that with Devin. Like with Devin and when Shakur finally lose, it's gonna be oh he cheated, he did this, even though they would snack and they doing all. It's always gonna be some bullshit. If they lose, it's gonna be some bullshit. Like, I hate it. Like, I'd be ready to fight people when I was younger. When I was younger and we be on a basketball court or we be playing football and you do that shit, when I finally win and you be saying, oh man, nah. Like, we used to fight over shit like that. Like, no, you lose like the old schools. When they lost, they got their asses whooped. They took it on the chin and they want their get back. Like, nothing else matter. I want my get back. You're gonna have to fight me again and then prove it. But like that cheating shit, that excuse shit, that shit that Fulton doing, I don't agree with that. You get paid millions of dollars. Imagine me making the excuse. Now, I got a decent contract and all that for what I do, but I ain't getting paid millions of dollars. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not. But like, imagine somebody making this. Oh well, you know, the reason why he was late that day was because, you know, the night before, you know, he got to bed late, and nobody making excuses for me. Why are we making excuses for people that get paid millions of dollars, and then people are actually out and he's smiling in the thumbnail? He's laughing in the thumbnail. He said, yeah, man, like the night before, don't I want to hear that shit? You got paid $1 million or more to take that fight. Part of the contract is you making weight. Be professional or get cooked like everybody else.
You know, like, that's like when what was the fight? Freaking, it was two Mexicans. I think it was, yeah, the guy that was supposed to Duarte and Tachiro Fierro, and Tachiro Fierro missed the weight. Then people are complaining that in a close fight they give it the fight to Duarte. Motherfucker, Tachiro Fierro missed the fucking weight. You fucking bury everybody for that shit, and you know you cook them. So you're trying to defend somebody that missed the weight. Fuck that shit. If you cannot make the weight, don't even get in that. Like, yeah, I want to get in the fight for the money and shit, but can you make the weight, motherfucker? That's part of the fucking contract. You get that you can make the weight. If you cannot make the weight, like Neri, look what happened to him in Japan and shit. Of course, why you make it in 120? You can barely make 126. Now you're gonna sign a contract to a cash weight in 124. Of course, you're gonna go 3 pounds overweight. Now they're gonna give you sanctions and shit, and you got your ass whooped. You cannot do the weight. Why you fucking signing? So now you cannot complain. Oh, I wasn't right. My weight. No, motherfucker. You knew from the beginning you cannot make that weight. You took the fight. You lose. Now you accept it. With all these motherfuckers too. Like, they always want to try the fucking excuse or some shit. I was saying, no, motherfucker, you signed it and you got in that ring. I'm counting that you are 100% fine.
And to your point, see me, I like who I thought won on the scorecard. That's different. I'm not even gonna go into that. But like, you gotta consider that when you do stuff like that and they look at you like a wild card like that, where they can't trust you and depend on you, you want to get things like that because they're gonna like, okay, this guy made the weight, he did this. Then that's political. That's a little bit political, but it's based on your actions. So if that happened and you get robbed on the cards, because me personally, I thought that Fierro won that fight, but when the judges did that, I was like, well, how much can you complain? Because that's when the business of boxing be coming in and they be saying, oh, well, this guy, he's a wild card. And in the last fight, he got Then he got disqualified the fight before that because he was doing all
Yeah.
these rough, dirty tactics and all. Now I think he beat Pitbull. I think he beat Pitbull too.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah.
but when you're a wild card like that, it's like life be life, and these judges are they're gonna render
And
the
why you gonna
judgment.
give
So
him
you
the
can't
fight?
complain when you didn't do everything by the book because you're just giving them a reason as to why. Now it's the business of boxing rearing this ugly head, but that's why you gotta be professional. That's why this is my last point on this before I address Ms. Coleman. That's why when O'Shaquie slung Ray out the ring, see, if O'Shaquie had been acting the way Ray acted, I think they might have deducted something or did something. But because he was, and I don't agree either way. I don't think O'Shaquie did that on purpose, and I also think Ray Ford could have stopped his own self from sliding out the ring. He did nothing to prevent him. It's like it looked like it was going in slow motion. But because the way O'Shaquie acts, he had the benefit of the doubt, saying, "Hey man, that was really just an accident." Now he could have did it on purpose, but because of the way he conduct himself, they gave him the benefit of the doubt. Like, man, O'Shaquie been smiling, he been classy, he been doing everything by the book. They didn't take it that way. Had he had a different attitude, like if he fought like Rolly back in the day when he was all rough, rugged, and when they in the clinch and he do all it, they probably would have been like, yeah, we docking some shit. Like that fight last night on Pro Box. That shit was egregious. But that's what I'm saying. When you're a professional, you get the benefit of the doubt. But why is it Keyshawn, he keep getting the benefit of the doubt and he's not even professional?
Yo, Mera, you saw that fight, right? The Filipinian guy that came with 16 KOs and shit.
Yeah.
Super slow. He's like a Robocop. But the guy that he fought, he was Sanders Saya's opponent. And Sanders knocked his ass out. And he's a good gatekeeper. That's what I'm saying. People say, oh, but Sanders' opponent got no name. Yeah, doesn't mean that because they got no names are not quality opponents for the level he was at that time. Like he's been getting graduated better opponents. And that guy, you saw what he did to the Filipinian. Like he put hands on him and shit. Like bam, bam. The Filipinian got power, but damn, he's slow.
Yeah, you know what I saw with him? It's like you can't let him come forward. If you put him on the back foot, he's cooked. Especially if you got somebody that got any kind of skills or lateral movement, he's cooked. That's why I knew, yeah, this guy's a little overrated. But like, let me address this, Ms. Coleman. I watched a video with Tim yesterday, and he was saying Dev's scared because he don't have Vic. I found that funny. He only aiming at Dev's way because that's not his guy. He is corny. And I was thinking, I said, see, I always say you got good Tim and you got bad Tim. And Tim he was on point last week, but then he figured out, oh man, like I might have been too real. Let me go ahead and play the game. And that's why I'm always going to cook Tim, and then I'm going to give him his salutes. You know what I'm saying? But like, this is one of the ones where it's like we could see that shit. I thought the same exact thing, Ms. Coleman. I just didn't want to do a whole live based on. I said, man, you're only doing that because that's your, like, he's going up against one of your guys, like, because you're high on Keyshawn, even though Shakur just showed that all that dick riding, all that eggplant eating, like the minute you say something where they don't, they're not really offended, when they can have you in their back pocket as a Hall of Famer, that shit don't matter, because Shakur just showed that all that dick riding you did for Shakur, he came out and said, I have no respect for Tim, I blah blah this, I blah blah blah, and he's saying that to you as a Hall of Famer. So all that dick ride, man, that's why I said I'm not gonna dick ride. I'm not gonna eat no eggplant. I imagine I'm allergic. I wouldn't know because I never had it, but I would think that I'm gonna be allergic. So I'm not gonna eat no eggplant. I'm just gonna come out here and give you that real spill every time, and I'm gonna take it. Whether I get 5 views or not, it's gonna be something on wax where you can go back and say, hey man, this cat was cooking every time. He ain't compromised not one time. Salute to him. Even when I'm gone from here, it's shit gonna be online on wax for people to go back and be like, oh no, somebody was keeping real track in real time. He might have been real opinionated, but he did a lot of things to, justify by facts, and it's on wax. So I don't understand why people dick ride, because it's gonna backfire when these guys say they don't want it. It's just like O'Shaquie not interviewing with me. I've been giving them praises, but somebody like Cigar Talk, who, the fruits of his labor in another industry gets him in front of these guys, and they act like somebody like that will be more seasoned or more up to the task of doing it. When I've been doing this shit all day, every day for years and don't get those opportunities. But Shakur go over there and do that, and I still, you know what I'm saying, I still rock with him. But they'll do that with these guys that are like plants, you know what I'm saying, or people that are put in the industry. That don't mean that they're like the best.
Rico versus Usyk, that's another big example. Now, because he has a good loss, now he's ranked under the WBC and WBA, the kickboxer. His second fight in boxing, he loses, and now he's ranked like 8 and 14, some shit like that. So all the boxers that have been fighting all this time and putting the work mean shit because a kickboxer have a loss with the heavyweight champion. You mean? These are the shit that is our fucking boxing. These are the shit that are damaging these brands, these organizations, because they keep doing stuff like these and not us, you know, not the hardcore. We get hurt, but we keep watching because we're hardcore fans. But kind of the casual and shit pull them back, and it keep being less fans that watch it because they don't like this bullshit. They're not stupid. They're like, what? Why you do that? In the first place, why you fought this guy for the titles? Now you're gonna rank the loser just because he got. Oh, so you're cooking a rematch to sell it where? Where are you gonna sell it? In Egypt again? Get the fuck out of here. You know? I really don't like that. That was low. Because I see guys like Fran Sanchez that have to come from an injury, a loss. Like people say, oh, Caballero, yeah, he got in that ring with Caballero, so at least he can get a paycheck so he can pay for the knee surgery that he maybe need a whole year, but he got no money, so he has to fight a young cat with a freaking busted knee so he can pay 6 months later his surgery, so now he can come up again in the ring and not out Richard Torres. That was another guy putting the work. So because he lost to the fucking champion, that means that he go over all these guys?
Yeah.
It's bullshit all over.
Hey, you see what Trini said, man. I was telling my lady, I was like, man, I called this guy, that guy Malachi Ross. I was like, man, I nicknamed him the Smooth Criminal, man. He secretly stole the show, man. Like, that dude was so smooth and patient, man, and you could see the technique. He got the image, he got the look, man. I was like, yeah, I'm excited for this young guy. He's on my radar. I know his name now. Did you see that on Pro Box last night?
Who? Where?
The guy Malachi Ross.
That have to be the first fight, maybe?
No, it was like the third fight, like the third or fourth fight, like the third or the fourth fight. But go back and look him up. Smooth Criminal. He tall, he long, he patient. He got pinpoint accuracy. The man so accurate with his punches. Then his technique is like vicious. From Missouri. He from Missouri, man. The Show Me State. He showed me. That dude nice, man.
No,
yeah, go check him out.
Mira, Omari Jones, he fought in Pro Box. The other one from Florida, Marksman. I forgot his name, but his last name is Marksman. He's a fucking marksman. Damn, bro. He beat up some of my guys. Those and they came from Pro Box, and now they're starting to be names. So this.
What's his name?
Marksman is his last name. I forgot his first name. He's in what weight class he is? I think he's in 140, 135, something like that. But he's good too. He's from Florida, from the same state of Omari Jones. And so this kid, I have to watch him because Pro Box always bring good freaking talent. You know, like they get these gems from nowhere. Like, it look like they're digging in these freaking gyms, and suddenly they find a guy that nobody's talking about and shit. You're a nobody. Come over here. Boom. What? You remember the Dominican kid that came in I think 135 or 140 pounds, and he put a freaking showcase against. Yo, that was fucking ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
Pro Box always. I like Pro Box. I like to watch them. Like it's the future over there. It's exciting. It's good. The gatekeepers are at the level too. You know, it's not like, oh, this guy is a bum and he's coming for a paycheck. No, these gatekeepers, they put the work. If you are not prepared or trained properly, the gatekeeper gonna roll over you, gonna knock you out, or gonna make a long night like they did to the Filipinos. You feel me? Like these gatekeepers in Pro Box are the real deal.
Yeah, I looked at his record before the fight. I told my lady, I looked at my lady, I said, hey, I looked at his record. I said, yeah, he got 23 fights, but he got 16 knockouts. That means he can box. He's not knocking everybody out, but then he has some challenges in that he lasts, but he can get you out of there if you let him. And I knew it was going to be a good one. I just noticed that guy, because Chris Algieri was all on his nuts, that Filipino guy and all that hyperbole. Even when they showed that knockout 3 times, I was looking for like that Cardenas. Like when you see Cardenas knock a nigga out, you know he got hands.
Algieri was all over his nut, but Paulie was like, I don't know. Yeah, you know, he had to say what he had to say because he worked for Pro Box, but he was not sell out on the Filipino. Paulie was the one that was riding. Oh my God! No, yeah. Paulie
and the thing is, I got his name. The thing is, I had to I was like, man, I'm not gonna be too high on what they saying because I know how they are, and I noticed that whenever he put the Filipino guy on the back foot, he's a liability. You know what I'm saying? But it's the thing. I'm gonna tell y'all, bro. Chris Algieri stole my shit, y'all. I told my lady this last night, and if you don't trust me, think about this. Listen to me. In my boxes to watch, right? In my boxes to watch collection, if you go back and look at that collection, and this like Chris Algieri do this all the time to me, and I don't know why. I'm like, man, just give me, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't even gotta eat no eggplant, but don't act like it's original. He said, yeah, I called this guy the mechanic. Go back and look at my boxes to watch and look at what I called Jesse Bam Rodriguez. And when he was on the undercard of Canelo, I did the mechanic part 2. But go back and look at the date when I actually did the video showing how smooth Jesse Bam Rodriguez is. And in my box to watch, I call him the mechanic. Chris Algieri said this other guy, this guy's an unnamed new guy. And this is because the last time when I did the breakdown on Bam Rodriguez, when he stole my shit, he came out the next day and did a video where he said the same exact talking points, and I called it fireworks. So if you don't believe me, go back and look at the video that I called Jesse Bam Rodriguez the mechanic, and then go look at the breakdown I did when I called it fireworks. And in that video, I tell you, around that time, Chris Algieri came out with a video and said, oh man, what I think about this is fireworks. The nigga be stealing my shit all the time. There's no way you came up with that name, the mechanic, because I called it like Jason Statham. Like I called Jesse Bam Rodriguez the Jason Statham. Like he gonna get in there and fix it no matter what. He gonna assassinate the dude, whatever he gotta do. That's how he's gonna operate. But they stay stealing my shit, and I'm like, look, I'm past the point where I want my credit, as long as the message getting out there. But to the people in the 300, I want y'all to know, you know what I'm saying? Like the shit be getting taken. Long story short. But he said, glad he's on Pro Box. They're gonna give him active and challenge him. All them young Pro Box fighters are sleepers. I stay winning up. Yeah, the Pro Box is like I said, they're the IV that boxing needed, man. Because one, they're not giving people short notice fight. They're giving them 6 weeks. That's another thing. You can be like, oh, this guy and that, but you giving a nigga 5 days, 6 days. This is like everybody celebrating Pally. Pally was on a roof the week when Shakur fought him. And now he fighting tonight. He fighting later on. He might be getting ready to fight here, you know, in a couple of hours. But like, they give him all this credit. I'm like, man, Pally was on the roof earlier in that week when you fought him, man. So how much credit do we give you? And he said that you didn't even hit hard. He said that was just his conditioning and the fact that you was going down to his body, which is smart on your part. But like, Pro Box give you 6 weeks. It's gladiator school. Bloody Flair Cobb said, yeah, you know, I'll go down there, but that's like gladiator school. Like, you really got to be ready, and it got to be, worth and all that. And Blair, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no walk in the pond. He ain't the biggest name out there, and they think people have maneuvered around him a little bit. But like, he'd have been somebody nice to put on a resume, and that's what he said about Pro Box. Pro Box is the IV that boxing needed. They're consistent. You know what I'm saying? It's gladiator school. They're not matching nobody that's going to be running around, dipping and dodging, trying to evade and elude and fence. Nah, you go down there, you might get your ass knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Tiger Johnson went down there with Nicholas Flaws and put on a demonstration.
Yeah. That was surprising. When I saw that jab, I said, oh my God, my guy is in problem. Oh no. Yo, as soon as he threw the first jab, he was so fast. The Flash couldn't see it. He couldn't do nothing. He was, nasty. That was nasty. Good work, And Flair is another good name for Sufa. That Flair.
Yeah, he is.
He's another good name for Sufa. Like, that's what I'm saying for Sufa. But yeah, Pro Box, bro. Pro Box is where the future it is, and I think that's our farm system. But where they gonna go after Pro Box? Because Pro Box got a ceiling, You cannot keep staying, because remember, those are small venues and shit. So you're gonna be in Pro Box, but then you have to move forward, and that's the point right now. Yes, we got these titles, the WBC, those, but if you don't have the right promoter with the right connections, you can be stuck for years and don't fight, and you can be a freaking good ass talent. And you will not gonna fight because you don't have the right promoter, that your promoter don't have the right connections, or you don't have the right network, or maybe, no, motherfuckers, this is boxing and you need to fight. And so that's where I think Sufa is gonna fill up that void and gonna have more consecutive fights. People don't like whatever. Hey, it is what it is, like, this is boxing. I want to see the best freaking boxing in the world. I want to see a good showcase. I want to see these boxers. Hey, I don't care how much money, what I'm saying, and what you do with your money. I just want to see they performing for their value, but that's not my problem, their value. I want to see them performing and doing what they should. Do I ask a freaking rapper if they sold a golden platinum disc, or how much money or a movie? No, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I just want to watch a movie and get entertained. I don't asking the freaking wrestlers in WWE how much they make, or how big is their house or whatever. Give a damn about it. I just want to see them perform and entertain me. So it's the same shit with these boxers. Stop capping, stop docking, and start fighting.
Yeah. We at a crossroads, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, man, because we almost at that teeter-totter point to where bosses are looking at it like, because look at how Brian Norman got treated after giving Devin an opportunity. They act like this man now to go all the way to the back of the line, and there's no way he can ask for a rematch. And then with the Tiger shit, with the Tiger and Devin, it's like, it's no way. Tiger just clout chasing. It's like, y'all got real beef in history, and Tiger, he's an Olympian. Like,
yeah, and he's a top contender. Defend your title, motherfucker, because that's why you got a title. That's why you're a champion, to be a defending champion, not to be a title holder.
And to Miss Coleman, only thing I can say about that one, because I used to never really, I've interviewed Blair, you know what I'm saying? We cool. I actually, one time the Boxing Voice was talking about Blair, and I hit his inbox and was like, hey man, they talking about you on TBV. And I was like, man, you might want to jump up there, man, and speak your piece, because that's when he was actually trying to fight Devin on Valentine's Day. And Devin and them, they knew that was going to be a wild card. But this what I'm going to say about that. I wasn't always high on Blair. Now I know him personally. And I'm not saying he's a world beater. I'm just saying that he would have been a good test for some of these guys who couldn't have got a fight. But the thing is, Devin was chasing AB. Conor Ben was chasing AB, and I always say in an abstract way, because Blair always say, man, those people be playing chess, but I play checkers, and it was kind of funny because in a weird way, he was the one that actually got the AB fight, and he knocked his tooth out. But Devin would have got all the praise. That would have been another old ass motherfucker that Devin would have got praise for. That would have really stamped Conor Ben. Look at all the fake clout he got. But they all was chasing AB. Blair just happened to get him in the ring because he was with Don King. So yeah, it's bittersweet because we know AB ain't the AB of yesteryear. And he's still going down. But like, that's really what happened on that. And
AB
as
needs
far
to stay in the couch. Yeah, your time is done. It's over. Stay there. Don't get injured. Just be yourself. Whatever. Like, bro.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yes. Like these guys always chasing a bet. You see Devin Haney always chasing a name. This instead of becoming the bet. That's what I don't want Ochaki to be chasing Shakur or don't look like that, because you can be your own bet. You can be like, hey Shakur, if you really want to fight me, come down here to 130. I'm here waiting for you, whatever, and don't keep entertaining this shit if it's not gonna, and you don't have to move to 140. Like, what the fuck? You're at 130. Like, do your shit. Don't try to chase the bag, because you are the bag. You can become the bag. People are interested in you. So that's the part. Like, the Haney's always are chased because they cannot be like Tank, like these boxers that are the bag. That doesn't matter who they fight. People want to watch them. You can be the biggest name beside Haney and nobody give a fuck.
See, I think you can learn from David Benavidez.
Yes.
You can learn, because for a minute it was Canelo, and once he figured out, because we all knew like at some point Canelo's heart started pumping Kool-Aid. And what happened was, this is the writing on the wall. This is why I be trying to tell everybody. And I heard it's another major channel out here. Well, he ain't major, but he's pretty big. He's kind of big. But he been stealing my shit. When I was saying upset, I was saying, man, we looking at about 3 more upsets this year. I heard them stealing that shit earlier. But this what happened. When you look at Canelo and how his heart pumped Kool-Aid, it would have been way better to lose to the young, hungry, up and coming guy in David Benavidez by passing the torch to him, by getting in the ring, because you would have got respect, because you would have been seen as giving the younger, up and coming Mexican monster a shot. But what happened was, you wind up doing what you did with Berlanga. Yeah, you dropped him, but you didn't stop him. Guess what? Hamza Shiraz knocked his ass out. Guess what happened with Jaime Munguia? You carried him. The Frenchman knocked his ass, stopped him. You know what I'm saying? And then you let Bud jump up from 54 up to 68, and he boxed your ears off. This is the precursor why I've been saying upsets, because these guys, with all this picking and choosing, all this jumping around, all of this, oh man, this porridge is too hot, this porridge is too cold, this porridge is, this porridge is too lumpy.
Look, and the WBC protecting Canelo so much, who they pass the torch to? To a guy that is not gonna pay your fees, so you lose too. Instead of passing the torch to Benavidez, like they should have done, right? The WBC and Canelo, let's pass the torch to Benavidez. Fuck it. So he gonna keep carrying this stuff. No. They decided that bullshit damaged his career for 3-4 more fights. And what? You pass the torch to a guy that retires and don't pay you no fees, no shit, and pull his finger out, flip you over. Wow. Look. And now Benavidez, instead of having like a passing torch, and now you have Benavidez like doing what Canelo was doing, now Benavidez has to do it from the ground up. The best part is from himself, his company, his dad, so now he don't own nothing to nobody. But that's another good example. He was chasing Canelo for a minute, right? Because I want to fight the best. But his career got stuck. When you're chasing sometimes a bag, you get stuck. When he say, fuck Canelo, I'm going to move up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, his career blossomed and shit. And now, he's a big name. Like, but yeah, I think Canelo passing the torch will be better for the business.
Yeah, but see, in the grand scheme of things, it would have aged better if you would have
Yes,
gave Benavidez a shot because he was the
yes,
young guy, and yeah, he still had to beat you and do what he did, but it didn't because you let a guy that was down at 47 really, and then go to 54 for a pretty much proverbial bum in Madrimov. Let's be honest, and then he jump up there and he put pause on you. That didn't age well. That's what's gonna happen with these guys like Shakur and these guys that's moving funny, and like the way Devin moving, where they're picking and choosing. Devin just recently got a reprieve because of what he did to Brian Norman. I didn't see that happening, so I'm kind of giving him a mulligan, but I'm seeing he's going back to his old ways and wanting to face these Cougars. Like, if it's a Cougar, you don't hear like what negotiation did we hear about Jose Ramirez? Like, did we hear any of this bickering? Money ain't right. All this? No, he got in his ass in there with Jose Ramirez. What negotiation did we hear with Regis Prograis? He was already watched because he saw what he did with Zarilla. We didn't hear nothing about, oh man, he don't want to take the fight. We just knew that, okay, well, who's the next opponent? It was announced. It was none of this. But when there's somebody that's young, look at what happened with Ryan. He jumped in there with Ryan, who was his size, was like a little slightly bigger, faster hands, more power. Not you could argue about IQ. That's questionable depending on what you're looking at. But like, what happened? He got his ass busted. But if it's anybody that's a real threat, we get all this bickering. If it's a Cougar, it's no problem. If the fight is announced, oh, he getting ready to fight Jose Ramirez next. You like, what? Oh, yeah, he getting ready to fight Regis next. You like, what? Oh, yeah, he getting ready to fight Loma next. 2 years after he said he was too old and too small. That's just what I've noticed.
but look the difference between Sayas and Virgil Ortiz, right? They're trying to pick and choose the good fight and shit to move him right without no title. He's the best 154. In the meantime, Sander is fighting anybody and shit. He got 2 titles because Fundora dropped his title to don't fight Sander too. Remember that one. So Fundora too is picking and choosing. So Sander ended up getting what? 2 titles, and now he's gonna fight Boots, and you don't see nothing about the money's right. You saw the drama that was happening with Virgil Ortiz, and they don't want to fight, and the money's not right, and we want more percentage.
Right.
Now, with Sander,
Right.
this is how it's gonna go, ping pam pam, and we gotta fight.
Right.
So yes, these fighters for picking and choosing or pennies of the trying to mira how long Virgil Ortiz is not. When was his last fight? He's still fucking Boots is fighting. At least he wasn't fighting but at least Eddie kept him busy, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like you start picking and choosing and the right guy for the right bag because all the fight have to be mega million. No, your fight become mega million when your name become like that. When you fight everybody, like
Hey,
Canelo wasn't making millions of dollars when he started fighting freaking when he was fighting Mayweather and the guys before Mayweather. With Cotto, Cotto's brother, he was not making millions. Not even with the fight with Cotto, Miguel Cotto. Like this shit take time and take you fighting the guys, the right guys, the right opponent, winning or losing. But if you're gonna go cherry picking and shit, it's gonna end bad.
but Melazar, because you've been busy with work, and I understand, and you don't get up here as much. But let me get your full breakdown of the Boots versus Xander, or Xander versus Boots fight. Go ahead and do that, because we gotta get that on wax before we wrap it up, man. Because I hadn't heard
You're not
from you,
gonna like it,
and
but
you're a pure. I know you're a pure boxing guy, but you know what I'm saying. Like you one of the guys. You part of the 300. We got to put this on wax. But go ahead, give us
I
your
was
full
watching
breakdown.
Boots film study. I did some film study of him, and I did film study of Sanders, some opponents and stuff. You know what? Like, yes, none of the fighters they got these big name opponents. The difference, Sanders opponents being graduated, upgraded, when Boots opponents always be kind of the same for his game plan, right? I see Annie's father not being that corner that gonna tell Ennis to adjust when the fight is not going his way or he's not accustomed of what he like. Like Sander, I see him like if he keep Boots kind of uncomfortable in the first 4 rounds, frustrate him, don't let him move how he want, don't let him get close. He got a good opportunity to work him with the jab, hook to the liver, hook to the face. Because you know what, Boots have getting all these bad habit fighting all these low class boxers, like for no reason. He's way better than the opponents he was fighting, right? So when you fight a lot of time boxers that are not at your level, you pick up bad habits. He like to drop the hands to his waist, like subir, when he's throwing, when he gonna throw you a hook, he drop both hands to his waist, and he leave all his torso and face open. Yes, he grab you with one hook, but you can hit him with everything. You can hit him too. His opponents always leave his hands up and lean forward, and they're kind of scared of Boots even before getting inside the ring. So he's already have an advantage mentally and stuff with these opponents. So if Sander is boxing, standing more backwards, his shoulders back, moving side to side, backwards, jabbing, I see Boots getting in big trouble, And I say, if the Knicks sweep the Spurs, Sander Sayas will school Boots. And not because Boots don't have talents or he isn't good. It's because he's been fighting so many tomato cans that he had picked up a lot of bad habits. And he looked awesome, but and you can see it with Karen, and people say, "Oh, why you keep bringing Karen?" Because Karen have 24 rounds with him, and he showed that when Boots get frustrated, he don't listen to his dad in the corner. His dad don't have nothing to tell him to adjust, to do different, so he can change the rhythm of the fight. And was shown in 2 fights, and they was time apart in 2 different weight class. So and Murataya versus Andy Cruz, that's another example. Andy Cruz have a good fight and stuff, but any senior wasn't able to tell Andy what to do in the ring so he can change the rhythm of the fight. He wasn't able to adjust, wasn't able to bring a game, a plan C, a plan B, like. So those are the things that I'm seeing, like maybe Sanders' team saw. Okay, like, because yes, I'm like wondering why they pick up Boots right now. I know you wanted that name to get legitimacy. Fuck, help me out. Legitimacy. So you can get legitimacy by defeating Boots. That's a freaking awesome name that's gonna skyrocket you, right? Some people say winning or losing the way you lose, but no, if you lose now at 21 and Boots, you're always gonna carry that cross over you. We don't know how Boots gonna have his career, so a loss with Boots too is gonna be heavy on him. Okay, he's gonna drop like Tejas dropped when he fought Abbas Baru and lost. So Tejas is like, now I saw him after that loss and how he's taking the training, bro. The kid look awesome, fast, stamina, everything. That's another thing.
Tejas,
Sander in the latest round looked like he was running a little out of gas. And Abbas Baru's that shit was a little fixed, but that's where, if Boots is able to work the lever downstairs and tire Sander in the latest round, Boots can drop him, right? Like that's a fight that the corner is gonna be a big factor. It's not just the boxers and their talents. It's the corners and how the corners gonna make their boxers adjust and do the work. Right? Like, yo, wake up, Mera. You're losing the fight. Mera, he's hitting you over here. Move this side. Keep this hand up and hit like they did with Sanchez and Torres. He told him, Mera, hit him here, hit him in the shoulder. When he come down, then you hit the hook. Boom, in Spanish. It's right there. It's videos of that. And he did it. So if you got the right corner and got you in that fight properly, is the winner. You know, I think the corner's gonna be a big factor. And I got Sander 12 rounds. I don't got him knocking out Boots because I don't see that. Can happen. This is boxing, but I don't see it happening. I see more a 12 round, a frustrating Boots, a Boots that cannot adjust, can is listening the crowd, and the crowd is not behind him, and he get more frustrated. So he's trying to be more aggressive and open more. How you say? Open himself for more punishment that he don't need to. Like he gonna force the knockdown, and that can harm him. But I don't see a knockdown. I don't see Sander knocking out Boots. Neither.
So go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So that's why I wanted your honest assessment, because I knew it wasn't just going to be based on like a guy named Round One who he pick anybody that's Latino. Like it's not like that with you, you know. So that's why I wanted to get this on wax, especially since you've been busy. But this is my take, man. Outright, I have it 60-40 for Boots right now, you know. But it's closer to 50-50. It's closer to 50-50. It's more like a 55-45 in my opinion. 60-40, like right in that area. It's just that now with the juices flowing, we seeing Boots up against somebody that he can get excited for. He's up for, you know, all the excuses about who's carrying and getting up for that fight. But it's another one of them things to where that style that Xander has is he's a mover. And I noticed even with that guy Tamir Smalls, it looks like some of them guys be having a problem, and don't shoot me. Some of them guys be having a problem with, they get too eager when they get somebody hurt and they don't cut off the ring effectively. Like when that guy Tamir Smalls fought that guy that fought I think he got the nod over Jaleel Hackett, but I think Jaleel Hackett really beat him. When he fought Tamir Smalls, I think he beat Tamir Smalls. He got robbed on the scorecards. But I think that's like Boots' grandson. I think that's his son's son. You know what I'm saying? He just got a different last name. That's what I believe, you know. But I noticed that these guys, they can hurt you. But when they hurt you, because they don't go about it the right way, they don't cut the ring off. See, Xander's going to be in there moving. And I highlight this. It was a career high when Karen landed on Boots. That was a career high. You could say what you want. It's like, oh, everybody get hit, and they say I get hit too much. It's like they just got a clip with. I just seen the clip last night where Showbiz was interviewing, and he was like, yeah, he caught me with a blah blah. Like Boots is on record saying, yeah, he caught me with this because he pretty much. So he, I was like, man, I don't know if that was a Freudian slip, but yeah, he caught you. Like to say Boots don't be getting touched, he do. Now, well, whether Xander can knock him out, no, I don't think so. I don't see that happening. Like that's the least likely result. But we could be looking at a situation. We could be looking at a situation like what happened with Josh Kelly and Murtazalia. The only thing is, Boots ain't had that big of a layoff, but the big bright lights come into play because remember, Boots was on a stage on the Tank undercard that night when he fought Karen. Everybody like, oh man, he about to just knock this guy. He about to just obliterate this guy. And Karen had on his dancing shoes, but he set a compy box for punches landed against Boots. I'm not going to ignore the facts just because I'm talking about Boots. I purchased tickets for Boots. I took my lady up to Atlantic City, you know what I'm saying, for the weekend to go see Boots. Spent money, so I'm a Boots fan. I witnessed history when he fought Stan Giannis. I was in the building. So I'm a Boots fan at my core. I like him. However, it's just like until you see a guy fight a guy that presents the same problems like me, we can look at Brian Norman and we can say, oh man, he looked tremendous against this guy from Canada. He obliterated him. But we're not going to know if the area that he needed to improve in was really improved until he get in there with somebody that can duplicate some of the things that Devin was able to do. So it might benefit him, like seeing him in there with a Tiger or seeing him in there with a Karen. Like that'll tell us, okay, well, yeah, shit, he definitely learned from that Devin fight, right? But we have not seen Boots in there with somebody where he had to cut the ring off since Karen. So that's the thing that gives me trepidation, because if Boots come in there thinking I'm just about to obliterate this guy, I'm gonna hit him with one punch and he's gonna lay down and ache like Lima did, he's gonna be slippery, man. He's gonna be like a fish out of water, like where if you ain't got him in the net, you know what I'm saying, your hands gonna get fucked up from them scales, and he gonna be punching and moving. And you gotta think the business of boxing might rear its ugly little head again, because if this shit go to the scorecards and it's even, who is the business of boxing gonna get that decision to?
And this Sander, the confidence is way different from other Sanders that I see him growing up. Now he's maturing to be a man. And bro, that kid got a fucking body, a huge one. I'm like, cabrón, why you're not a sport magazine model or some shit instead of being in this fucking business? What's the fucking wrong with you? But he got big. He's working this shit out for real.
But yeah, he do look tremendous. But man, Xander been talking some shit, man.
Yeah,
Xander been talking some shit. So I'm like, man, Xander, I like the confidence, but don't get in there and pull a T.O., Xander, please.
No, please don't do that.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You're gonna have to put some output out there, man. So I'm leaning towards Boots. It's like a 55, 45, 60, 40 right now. But Boots is in, but Xander is in this fight. Xander got a shot because we gotta see Boots cut that ring off. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I never say like, oh no, Boots is threat. No, he has done what he had to do with this opponent. But that's the problem. I believe like they give away too many opponents that wasn't at his level. That's where I'm like, fuck. But you know what? I want to watch it. I'm gonna go to the casino and watch it over here in a big ass clean TV. Maybe buy one beer or some shit like that I don't drink, but fuck it. You know, like, and enjoy it, because it's gonna be a good fight. Two prime boxers fighting to be the best and showcase who is the real deal. You know, and
now, do that make them the best? Do the winner of this, do that make them the best at 154 though?
For me, yeah, because freaking Fundora dropped the WBO title to don't fight at the Sander and went and fought a guy that he already beat. The other one is who? Josh Kelly. Yeah, you beat him, but how you bought, you know, and the guy dropped you too, and they don't count the freaking knockdown that he gave you. What's a lot of shady shit happening in that fight too. So Josh Kelly, the Fundora, yeah, you got some victory, but against who? When you can fight, why Fundora never said, hey Boots, let me fight you? You know, or Virgil Ortiz, or you know that Virgil Ortiz was the interim champion. Right there, they don't say he's the best one to. So his name's out there, and you're picking up easy fights. Like what? Oh yeah, Thurman. Yeah, what? That was your opponent, Thurman, for real? That old man? How long he don't fought? You know, so yes, I think yes, the winner of this fight is gonna be the best 154 in the division right now. Yeah, and plus gonna have two titles anyway. So yes, definitely, definitely.
Well, good stuff, man, Lazar, man. I appreciate you, man. You got a sharp boxing, man. Boxing mind, man. And I know you be busy, but like, I guess whenever you get an opportunity, man, pop up here still, man. We miss you on the channel, but I know work is work. You know what I'm saying? I know, I understand. So. But yeah, man, I appreciate you jumping up here and kicking it, man, and me picking your brain a little bit, man. I appreciate you.
No problem. Always love to everybody in the chat, to you, buddy. Everybody, don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and see you till the next one, when it will be. Take care.
All right, Melazar. Enjoy your weekend, brother. All right, man. Another good one in the books, y'all. Man, we cooked, man. Medazar got a sharp mind, man. He's not biased, man. I don't like biased people. He's critically thinking. He gives his opinion. He can substantiate his opinion. Do we agree on everything? Absolutely. Like, we don't agree on everything, but we agree in mindset and majority of the things. We like 90-10. You know, that's some of it just preference in fighters and this and this and that. But like people like that, man. Him, AC, AJ, even some people in the chat, Miss Coleman, Trini, Cookie Monster. We all align, man, with how we see boxing, man, and what it's all about. Real. You know what I'm saying? We don't got to fabricate nothing, man. We're going to speak the truth. We're going to be ourselves. We're not going to cap. We're not going to put on capes. You know, we're just going to talk this boxing talk, man. For me, my final thought is this. I'm not getting in the way of the Keyshawn and Devin fight. Because think about it. I put up the Linguini bros. I'm like, man, y'all saying all these names, just fight each other. You know, this is one of the times where I say, all right, Dev, I'm giving you a pass for picking, you know, a guy that I don't really think can see you. Because in all honesty, Keyshawn got a puncher shot, but I don't think he's disciplined. And I think that it might not look like how Brian Norman looked. It might be a little bit more competitive because Keyshawn might have slightly better feet. But we got to see that. Because I always say, man, there's a reason why Keyshawn wasn't really interested in getting in there with Andy Cruz. There's a reason why he didn't want to get in there with Tito Mercado. There's a reason why he tiptoed past a lot of people. You ain't never heard Keyshawn say, I want that Gary Antoine smoke. He been talking about Andy Cruz or Ryan because Ryan is a payday. And now Devin because Devin is a payday. But ironically, you know what I'm saying? A guy I rock with from another channel, he be calling in. I think he has like we got the same in general for the most part. We like 95.5. Like a guy said, man, for the first time in a long time, I would be actually picking Bill and Dev in that fight. And it's because of discipline. I don't think that going in there just trying to swing and be reckless and all that. And I think that he's top heavy. The man ain't got no legs. Devin gonna make you use them legs. He gonna make you cut off that ring. If Cruz was easy work, he wouldn't have been saying, oh man, that was the amateurs, it don't mean nothing. But remember, they advertised Devin versus Ryan as game 7. Why? Based on 6 fights in the amateurs where they split it in a manner in which amateur style boxing, you would think that would benefit somebody like Devin. But Ryan was 3-3. They was knotted up in the amateurs. You see what happened in the pros. I think that the reason this brotherhood part is one because maybe Shakur knows the power that Keyshawn got, and if he catch him, you know what I'm saying, he can, you know what I'm saying, put him on Queer Street, right? But the other part is Keyshawn also knows that when Shakur don't really want to be touched and hit with his skill set, he's not going to be able to deal with Shakur. I don't want to see that fight because of aggression, but if you look at it, Keyshawn don't be chasing out no pure boxers. He got Jermaine Ortiz late. It was late notice. He didn't have a full camp. I'm not making no excuses. This is my observation as a boxing fan. He didn't have a full camp, and Jermaine Ortiz didn't fight the same way. It's just like this whole thing, and it's not just me because somebody in my comment section said this. They linked the whole thing to this Jay Prince thing. Right now, I'm at a stage where I don't unless it's a solid, credible name, right? I don't trust no op of no. I mean, like other than the Abdullah fight, because I think he's like letting Abdullah just be organic in what Abdullah do. But when it comes to Shakur and Keyshawn, I'm starting to look at their opponents. That shit's starting to look funny in the light because I'm a guy that go off stats, performance, and all that. Shakur ain't beating shit down nobody's leg. You might get embarrassed by being touched, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of times, poked in your navel and poked in the middle of your forehead, but you ain't got no threat of really being knocked out at this point. He ain't been that way and since what, Yoshino? Since what, when he blew weight and beat up Robinson Conceição? This ain't been the Shakur that the one that I was praising, the definition. He ain't been that for a couple divisions now. It's the same way like when T.O. moved up from 35 to 40. That's not the same T.O. And they talk about how T.O. was always on a roller coaster. Have a whole epilogue or monologue about how T.O. is a roller coaster fighter where he's up on this fight, down on this fight, up on this fight, down on this fight. He was up against Barbosa, down against Shakur, up against Loma, down against Claggett, up against Josh Taylor, who already got beat by Catterall decisively, in my opinion, down against Shakur. I'm not taking away from no performance, because if you get your ass in that ring and you don't do your thing, I'm not going to take away from the guy who won. All I'm making is an observation. I don't trust anybody that's on the opposite end of because Nair Albright didn't even fight the way he fought. I looked at that man. This man was at the beach, playing in the sand and all this other shit. He was in a hotel room. I got the text message where I was texting. I text AC in like the 6th or 7th round. I said, "Oh, it looked like Nair Albright just here for the moral victory." I don't trust no op of no Jay Prince fighter right now. Look at what T.O. happened. His father didn't show up at the press conference. T.O. show up and he don't let his hands go. Well, we knew it wasn't going to be you slipping, dipping, dodging. No, we knew it was going to be your offensive prowess that was going to get you to win that fight. So right now, I think that Keyshawn, people are a little high on him based on the track record. He beat a lot of undersized guys at 35. Yes, you know, he won a title, which is nothing to shake a stick at, especially coming from a guy that sit on the couch. Even though I don't literally sit on the couch. You know what I mean? I don't box. You know what I'm saying? But easy for me to say, right? No, but I'm looking at the track record. I'm looking at the history. So he did what he did at 35. He blew weight against De Los Santos. That was a real fight. Why? Because if he really thought he would have won, he would have pressed himself to make the weight, or he would have gave De Los Santos enough money to say, you know, fuck it. I can't miss out on this money. I got to proceed forward. But he knew that you were going to try to be a weight bully like you always were, like you have been, but you're top heavy. You don't got no legs. When you look at them guys, they don't got no legs, man. They got like chicken legs. Like a lot of people in the army are like that. They be all top heavy. You don't got no quads, no, you know what I'm saying, no hamstring. They ain't got nothing. No legs. You got to get in the weight room. So I think that that's just a matter of discipline as to why he's going to 47. Why? Because he probably get his dick knocked in the dirt down at 40 with a plethora of people. Andy Hirioka, Sandor Martin, Alberto Puello, Tito Mercado. You know what I'm saying? We still, just because we see Nair Albright and Frank the Ghost Martin, it might be totally different. Why? Frank the Ghost Martin is shorter than Keyshawn. He'll be up under them. The same problem that he give, like, you know, with being able to get lower with Tank, like with Cruz giving, you know, Tank some competition because he can get lower. And when you're used to fighting taller fighters, it's a plethora of reasons. So I don't know the legitimacy, because when I was saying Keyshawn, go ahead and fight Devin now because y'all both doing a linguini, calling out all these names and y'all not fighting none of them, I was wrong. I was jumping the gun. I'm like, oh, you just want to see Keyshawn beat, or oh, you just hating on Devin. When I was saying that that's what the case, but now we come full circle. I'm wondering what's the motivation now, because it's looking like, remember I showed y'all, this is what it's looking like. I'm just making an observation. I'm not in front of the fight. I want to see the fight, so don't get it misconstrued. I want to know y'all opinion on why, but this is what it's looking like. It's looking like Keyshawn is having Shakur is having Keyshawn jump out in front of another motherfucking missile for him and take the shot. Because remember, I just came off of saying that it looked like it was Oshaki. It looked like it was Oshaki versus all of them. Oshaki wound up taking Lil Ray Ray to school. It looks as though Shakur saying, "Get him, boy. Get him." You know what I'm saying? Like, why is he taking all of Shakur's legitimate smoke now at this point in time? This is why I say battery included. You know what I'm saying? Either Shakur putting that battery in his back, you know what I'm saying, or Keyshawn really want to be great. I want to believe that he really wants to be great. I want to believe that he really can beat Devin. But as undisciplined, now we take a lot of things from Devin. But being undisciplined is not one of the things that we can really put in his jacket. And that's like, you'll be surprised coming from me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm definitely not a Devin fan. I just respect what he did with Brian Norman. And I'm like, yeah, most of the time, between Devin and Shakur, most of the time their fights are already won before they even step in the ring. Why? Because they choose the opponents that they see something in. Remember, Devin saw Zarilla versus Regis, where Zarilla dropped Regis twice before that fight when he took him. He saw something. Shakur, he saw how Teofimo Lopez performed with Jermaine Ortiz. He saw it before he took the fight. Why? Why didn't he go up and fight Sabril Matias? Why he didn't go up and fight Gary Antoine Russell? No. He saw the lapses in T.O. in his defense. He saw that he wasn't able to cut off the ring or fix them windshield wipers is what I call it. Because once it rains, you figure, oh, damn, I got bad windshield wipers. It's not until it rain again when you fix them windshield wipers the way you equip. But once it start raining again and you haven't fixed them windshield wipers, you right back in the same predicament. So I'm not sure. I'm not getting in the way of the fight. I love the fight. I was asking for it. This is why I called it the Linguini Bros. I've been wanting to see them fight. I'm like, y'all calling out all these other names. Keyshawn, you say you supposed to be at 47. Devin, you saying you pound for pound, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. And you the greatest in this era. You on Mount Rushmore. Shut up and fight. Well, it's like these niggas are saying everything but let's fight. Both of them. I just want to see the fight. I just don't know the motivation behind it. To me, this is what it's looking like. It's looking like Shakur setting this man up for a crash dummy mission. And for the first time, I got Devin in this fight. I'm going to do a breakdown on it, but I got Devin in this fight right now because Keyshawn is not disciplined. And it's one of them things to where the big bright light's going to come on. It's going to be a lot of pressure. And Keyshawn is a crash out. You can say what you want. You can love his talent, but he has not shown it. It's just like Devin going up against somebody like Ryan Garcia. This will be the first time with Keyshawn going up against this fight right here is like when Devin went up against that Ryan. This is gonna be the same thing. But yeah, you got some advantages. I give you the power advantages, right? But you ain't gonna be able to get in there and tussle with Devin. Devin is acclimated. Devin is a master of clinching. Unless you know what you're doing, you ain't gonna be able to break that clinch and do what you normally do. And Devin gonna be moving. So if your feet are set, Devin gonna be moving. The minute you start moving, Devin's feet gonna be set and he gonna be picking and popping. So for the first time, I actually got Devin in this one. I just question the motivation behind it. Did Shakur really put a battery in Keyshawn's back? Or do Keyshawn really want to be great? You tell me. Dev Wall, salute. Ms. Coleman, salute. I appreciate you, Ms. Coleman. 100. Thanks for the show today. I needed that. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support, man. Great comments. Great thought-provoking. Since silence is consent, thanks for speaking out. It let people know that I'm not going crazy. You can't gaslight us. We already lit. Ain't that right, Ms. Coleman? Word on the streets, there's a lot of people think Keyshawn maybe can't beat Dev, but I don't know. I won't have a pick in that one. Yeah, I don't have a dog in that race, but I don't think right now. I don't think so. I mean, I do have a lot of criticisms for Devin. Why? Because he's a cougar hunter. But at the same time, I don't think that Keyshawn is disciplined enough to go in the fight, especially had to deal with Bill and the build up. This nigga is going to crash out horribly. And where Devin might have dropped him, I don't know. I don't know if Devin hit him the way he hit Brian Norman. Because Brian Norman is way more devastating punching than Keyshawn. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Did Brian Norman line you up right? You are going to sleep, Holmes. With Keyshawn, he might be able to drop you, wobble you, but he didn't stop Nair Albright. They was in there posing, and he was in there making business decisions as to when he was going to do whatever he was going to do, and he let him go the distance. I think that if Devin were to go upside Keyshawn's chin and he hurt him like the way he had Brian Norman, he just had a lot of respect for Brian Norman because he know Brian Norman could still end the show at any minute. He could smack. It's one of them guys the way I don't care what the score is. The bases is loaded and Brian Norman up at the bat. Shit, he probably gonna smack a home run if he catch that. You know what I'm saying? He catch it right. So I think that if Devin were to catch Keyshawn ain't gonna be able to recover. You know what I'm saying? That's just my observation, and I just gotta be honest. You know, it's a lot of things that I don't like about Devin and how they move and all the shenanigans and then the YouTube presence that they got, to where it's narrative driven and not fact based. You know, they let him pick and choose. Again, if anybody say Tank name, Tank is ducking them. If anybody say Devin name, then it's a clout chase. I don't agree with that part, but as far as what Devin can do, it's just like what Josh Kelly can do, just like what Xander can do. You have to have a particular set of skills, Liam Neeson style, to be able to deal with that. And if you're not a professional, if you don't know how to cut off the ring, if you don't have the power and the skills and the timing to be able to counteract that, you in hot water. He's tenured at doing it. So right now I got Dev, even though I don't got a dog in that race, but I got Dev right now. I just don't know the motivation. Is it Kerr? Is it Key? I'm not sure. Thanks for everybody who came through, man, and supported the channel, man. We are monetized. Like, comment, subscribe, super chat, cash app, it all works. Even if you can't do none of that, hype the videos. If you catch this on the playback, talk to me, holler at me. I'll talk back. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie, that fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have ours. We say go where everybody knows your name, and they always glad you came, and they always sing your praise, and then come over here and hear what we got to say. Hopefully you can put something in your rucksack and march forward with it and take it on to your next boxing conversation. Silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to the things that need to be spoken to in the sport of boxing, even when it's not comfortable to say, even when you're going to catch backlash, even when you got the majority going against you. We still got to say what we see, man, and speak that truth. I could talk that boxing talk all day and all night. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga? Right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.